Welcome to the Dojo Talk Podcast. Please remove them shoes before entry. The master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Go. Living every day to define man's mission. Look into the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
What's going on, world? It is your host, Serial Sensei speaking. Just wanted to come in real quick, give a warning / apology for the audio in this episode. We recorded via Skype, and in this episode, it was I along with Anti-Cool, Joey, and Stoges, and we're all located in different areas of the country. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but the audio at moments is a bit choppy, unfortunately. You'll hear at times some of our sentences just seemingly fade away into nothingness and then randomly come back. I apologize for that. Hopefully next time it won't happen again, but just wanted to give that little warning so you know it's not anything wrong with you on your end, it's on our end, and technology not being so great. For whatever reason, I did not have a great connection during this Skype call, and it kind of compromised the audio a bit. But I tried to make the best of it. So hopefully you guys still enjoy the episode. It was a fun one. So thank you guys for listening, man. Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Serial Sensei. We are on episode number 125. As always, you can check this podcast out on SoundCloud, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please rate, subscribe, and leave a review. You can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play. Check us out on social media at the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page, as well as the Dojo Talk Podcast Instagram page. Send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Serial Sensei. You can also follow me on Twitch, where I play video games and try my best. And you can buy my book, The Oddball Chronicles, if you would like, for the very fair price of 99 cents for a digital, or $8.99 if you're more of a paperback person. With that being said, as always, I'm joined with my co-host, the Anti-Cool. What's going on, man?
Not much. It's been a good week.
Aside from the weather.
They released the trailer for was it Detective Pikachu, the new one, and it looks absolutely fucking insane, and I love it because it's either going to be amazing or a fantastic just trash fire.
I think I'm the only one who's not really, who's just not excited, like, at all.
It can be great. Like I just need it to be some type of extreme, you know what I mean? Like it needs to be either great or just god awful to the point where I can enjoy it. That's all I want.
I feel like it'll be good. I think I can't really get over the fact that like Pikachu has a voice and it's Ryan Reynolds. And like if I was to picture Pikachu talking, that's not the voice that I would really picture.
What is the voice of Pikachu in your mind?
I don't know.
I'm upset they didn't get Danny DeVito. Cause
I feel like Pikachu would really sound like a bratty little kid.
Mm.
I think that's what I picture. But yeah, I get it. Ryan Reynolds, he's hot in the streets now. So
he's a very charismatic man.
Yeah, so I get it.
And just to keep going with the Pokemon thing, they released the trailer for Gen 8. Which will be coming out later this year, I guess.
And it's crazy that like Pokemon has not died yet. Like it's just
it's going to go on forever, man. Like it's a part like a video game thing. It's why Mario games sell like Mario Odyssey apparently sold like 13 to 15 million copies. And that's what iteration of a Mario game now?
Yeah, I gotta make it 15 million and one. I haven't played it yet. I guess for me, like, Pokemon, I fell off the wagon early. Like, I stopped after,
you're one of those types.
I don't even know. Like, I played, like, Yellow and Red and Blue. And I think I played whichever one came out, like, after that. Maybe.
and then that was kind of it for me.
See, I
kept
never
going.
stopped playing. I never stopped playing. I'm still playing. I'm playing right now.
so you know these new wave Pokemon that I have no idea who they are.
I mean, I'm not. I'm not like 7 years old and internalizing all the names anymore. But I like Beware, which is just a pink and black and white bear panda thing.
You see the Dark Phoenix trailer?
I did not, but apparently people are not happy.
Yeah, it doesn't. It does not look. I'm gonna avoid that one. Let's just say that. I love Phoenix as a character, but that movie does not look like it's gonna do it for me. And why does Mystique? She looks like really bright. Like she's like a bright shade of blue. Like they lightened up, or like they didn't put enough makeup on.
In the comic,
Huh?
uh,
Yeah, it's.
isn't she supposed to be like bright blue? Like she that's how she is in the comic.
I don't know. I don't know. But I think I've gotten used to her other movie looks. Because I feel like the way she looked in the other movies was actually really cool. But like in this one, she just.
My
I don't know.
favorite thing is what's her name? Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Like for like her last time playing Mystique, she just legit like you could tell that she was just over it because the Hunger Games were out and she had already won like an Oscar. So like she spends the most of the movie just looking like Jennifer Lawrence as opposed to actually being Mystique. She's like, I don't have to do this shit anymore.
Yeah, I'm above you.
I don't have to wait. I don't have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to put on the stupid makeup. And I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of these she's done, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of over the X-Men. I love the X-Men. Like I love the cartoon. It was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. But I always have like a soft spot for them. But outside of X-Men 1, X2, and Logan, the rest of those movies just did not.
They are not. They are movies you like when you are a teenager,
Yeah.
and that's basically it.
Yeah. They just they missed the mark. I think we should just kind of let them go. Let them go, man. I feel like they're. I'm not gonna say they're in Fantastic Four territory because I thought the Fantastic Four movies were like terrible, and I don't think they're that. The X-Men movies are that bad, but I think they're kind of in the same boat as to where it's like you guys should just go away for a while and let us forget about you. Maybe come back like 5 years from now.
Well, the whole like you could tell they just wanted to make a TV show. Like that's the thing. Like they really wanted so hard to keep the continuity over like 15 years and stuff like that, and like Marvel should just let them make TV shows. Like just switch. They could have the movie rights, and Fox can have the rights to like a TV show because that's what they want.
I don't know.
I mean, well, I guess Disney's getting it back, right?
Yeah, Disney's about to take over. I need to hurry up and watch season 2 of Punisher before it just disappears. Because everything else got canceled. And Punisher did get canceled too, but it's still on there. I need to hurry up and watch that because I feel like after a while Disney's just going to pull all of it.
Yeah.
It'll be on their streaming service that I'm probably not going to pay for.
It depends. I need all the stuff. You know what I mean? They can't be holding out on me.
I mean,
If Disney gives me everything they own, I'll probably pay for like a summer, you know, and like just binge watch Disney cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, I would do
So
that.
like if they give me that, yeah, if they give me that, they'll have me for a couple of months. But I don't know about beyond that, but give me some documentaries about like the making of Snow White, because I'm that type of boring person who loves just like behind the scenes animated stuff.
Just give me the Disney Robin Hood movie, which I already own, but I just want to watch it anyway.
And speaking of, it's going to be a good week this week because what you call it comes out. Into the Spider-Verse on Blu-ray and DVD, and I guess 4K if you have a 4K television. I'm gonna buy that.
When is Captain Marvel coming out? I'm sorry, guys. We're on a random spiel.
I mean, we open every show with a random spiel
That is true.
because if we just jump into the MMA, like you can't just do that.
Yeah, you guys need to hear about Marvel and whatever else we talk about.
Entrees, yeah.
Oh man, but
I think
yeah,
it comes out this week, either this week or next week, but soon is the point.
there we go. But yeah, that was our Marvel spiel and X-Men spiel. Go watch Dark Phoenix at your own risk. That's all I'm gonna say. I guess real quick before we get started, so we were gonna have Stoges and Joey on for the show.
Stoges
But,
just woke up.
Okay, yeah, all right. So Stoges might get in on here. He just awakened over in Cali. Joey, unfortunately, I think Mother Nature took him out. Apparently, they got a lot of snow.
He's currently experiencing ice age.
Yeah,
So he has to go build a fire and I guess
yeah. He just has to survive, basically. So yeah, we were gonna get Joey on here, but Mother Nature got to him first, and we can't win that fight. So Joey, I hope you're surviving. Hope you're doing all right over there. And I guess we'll see about Stoges at some point in the episode. See if he's alive to get on.
Would this be the first time he's been on since TJ Dillashaw beat Garbrandt?
I think so.
Which is hilarious because, well, we'll get to it later.
Yeah.
This fuck.
But before we get started, real quick, shout outs to the listeners. Of course, man, everybody on Twitter, on Tumblr, people in the Facebook group, wherever you are listening to this podcast. We, of course, always appreciate you. Top cities for the week. Number 1, we got San Francisco, California. Number 2, we got Kiev, Ukraine, if I'm saying that right. Number 3, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Number 4, Brooklyn, New York. And number 5, we got Seattle, Washington. So, shout outs to all the listeners. Shout outs to everybody internationally who got here one way or another, possibly by accident, but it's cool. It's all love.
I'm just assuming everybody's here because they want to be.
Yeah, you should be. At this point. I mean, we're like 125 episodes in. So, at this point, if you're here, I would assume, yeah, hopefully you did this on purpose. But if not, just stick around. Good things will eventually happen.
I mean, if you've never seen MMA before, this is going to be a journey for you.
Yeah. Boy, would this be a card to start on.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel it teaches all the proper things you need to know about MMA.
Oh yeah, it was. But this, I think that main card gave you what MMA was in a nutshell, of the best and the worst that can happen, all in one night.
In different forms too. In all types of different forms.
Yeah. Go study some film on this. This is it could give you a clue of what's to come if you keep watching the sport. Heartaches, triumphs, and then everything in between.
Hard-headedness.
Yikes. He fell the exact same. Like the fall was identical. We'll get to it. All right, we'll leave that alone. We'll get to that fight when we get to it. But oh my God. But as always, starting off with news and notes for the week. I'm sorry if I sound under the weather. Like every time I wake up, it's cold and my nose is stuffy, and I have to wait till it gets warm for me to feel better again. So I'm sorry if I sound weird. But anywho, news and notes for the week. Not the busiest week really in terms of fight announcements. I feel like there were most of the big news was more so stories than anything else. But starting from the top of what I have jotted down here, Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie. It is not finalized, but it's looking like that is going to be a fight that will happen at a future event in May, which would be an awesome fight. Finally get to see Gregor Gillespie get the big fight that he's probably been looking for, and I think that's a good fight to see how legit he is. If that fight does indeed happen, so look out for that. We got Ray Borg versus Ping Wan Lu on UFC on ESPN2. Also on that same card, you will have Josh Emmett versus Michael Johnson. In the middleweight division, you will have Krzysztof Jotko versus Roman Kopylov at UFC St. Petersburg. That'll be Kopylov's debut. He was a Fight Nights Global middleweight champion from what I read. So look out for that fight. At UFC 236, we'll have Poliana Botello versus Lauren Mueller. And that's all I got for UFC fight announcements. As far as news, Walt Harris was suspended. He tested positive for SARM, which stands for Selective Androgen Receptor Module. I have no idea what that is, but I just wrote it down.
That sounds like something you would put in like a robot.
Yeah. That's like that's like that thing Iron Man has on his chest. Like I don't know, but he tested positive for it. So his win over Arlovski has been overturned to a no contest. From the article I read, he claims it was a tainted substance, but I don't know. I don't know how these things go, but either way, he is still suspended for 4 months. Also in UFC related news, taking a trip back to the post UFC 229 brawl, Dylan Danis has received his suspension for his role in the fisticuffs and flying kicks and whatever you want to call it that happened after that fight. Danis has been suspended 7 months and fined $7,500. It's gotta suck because all you did was stand in the crowd and a guy jumped and tried to kick you in the face. And somehow you got suspended for it. But,
I'm assuming they found that he was antagonizing him or something. I don't know, but his suspension's up in like 2 months, something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, $7,500 though. Well, I don't know what his pockets are looking like, but
I mean that's when you go to the money guy, Connor.
Yeah. that's a phone call you gotta make. Like, bro, I almost took a kick for you.
I almost died because of you. You gotta really sell it,
Yeah. So so he got suspended. So I don't say we'll see him, but that's the thing that happened. That's pretty much all I got for UFC news. Well, we have a couple of other stories, but I'll save those till later. Moving on to Bellator, Lorenz Larkin is out of the Koreshkov fight. The new main event for that Bellator 219 card is going to be Sadawad versus Brandon Gertz, and the co-main event will be Daniel Strauss versus Shane Crutchin. Another bout that Bellator is looking to book, but it is not official yet. It looks like Lyoto Machida versus Chael Sonnen is going to be a thing, but that is not official yet. But keep an eye out. Could potentially be a bout that happens. That's all I got for Bellator news. Moving on to One Championship, they just recently signed Vitor Belfort.
Yeah. I can't wait till we get the Brandon Vera Vitor Belfort trilogy that one is currently planning out in their head.
Oh yeah, it's going down. Yeah, it's going down. So Belfort can bring his spinning kicks if he can still do those.
Dude, no more drug testing. Let's go.
Vitor possibly a belt holder by the end of 2019. But yeah, that's going to be a thing that happens. Don't know who his first opponent is, but he did officially sign with them. But we do have an official bout for One Sage Northcutt. His first fight over the one in the One Championship banner will be on May 17th against Cosmo Alexandre, which, if you know Cosmo,
that's amazing.
Yeah, that should be a very fun stand-up fight that will most likely result in somebody getting knocked out or TKO'd or some variety of the sort. So that'll be fun. And I didn't write this, and it's not even news, but that one championship new era card is going to be awesome. Make sure you guys watch that. That card is like super stacked.
That card's fire.
Yeah, that card is
has me worried about the next like 5 months where they're trying to fill dates, but
yeah, because they went all out for the new era card. Like they put all of their stars on that one.
Like if they're losing like 6 figures a card on fights, based on their prior financials, they must be losing upwards of like 10 figures for that card. Man. I don't no, I'm gonna just hold that to myself. I don't want to put that negativity out there. All right. Last bit of big news, or was there more that I'm forgetting?
Hold on, I got one more. Jose Alday versus Gustavo Lopez going down at Combate Americas March 29th. It'll be a bantamweight title rematch. And then the rest of these, I guess we can kind of expand on a little bit. So
yeah.
You want to start with
the big one?
Oh, which one's the big one? I feel like all of these are pretty.
Well,
no, let's start with Cro Cop.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Let's start with Cro Cop.
So, for those who don't know, apparently in the weeks leading up to the Roy Nelson fight, which was like a week or two ago, I think. Was it last week?
Yeah, wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, Cro Cop apparently suffered a seizure, did not know about it, from what I understand. Went through with the fight, and then had a stroke afterwards. And as a result, he is now, I think he was like diagnosed with epilepsy or something like that. But as a result of that, he is now retired from fighting. So yeah, I guess it was one comeback too many for Cro Cop.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Did you read that? I don't know. I saw a quote from him that he said it had something to do with like a neck injury he had.
Yeah, probably. God, I read what you're talking about, but I didn't have it in front of me right now. Cro Cop neck injury seizure. He had suffered a neck injury leading up to the Nelson fight and possibly had a seizure at some point before the bout. Yeah. But
so that kind of just sucks because, like, Cro Cop, what's the win streak he's on now?
It's like on a 10-fight win streak because he won the tournament, the Rising tournament, right?
Yeah, he's been out here like handling business,
collecting checks, doing his thing, getting names over, faded but big name opponents.
And like he's looked like pretty decent.
Yeah, he has looked good. That's he. I'd put him at least on par with like one of his contemporaries, and he's 45 years old.
Yeah, and he's still out here slinging. Yeah. And then he looked good against Roy too. Like he was holding it down. But nah, man, like strokes, can't really. It's not really the kind of thing you can like mess around with.
Yeah, that'll fuck up your life.
Yeah, that's one of those you definitely can't play around with those. So, yeah, but that just sucks. That wasn't a headline I was like expecting to see or like ready to read. It was like, man, that just
sucks all the wind out your sails.
Yeah, you feel for a guy who's like had such a nice post UFC career. Life looks like it's been going pretty well, and then that happens.
Right, dude, like his post UFC run has been like, but like it's up there with like the best anyone else has done like post UFC. One Grand Prix was after he got cut, right? Or was that between like when he got cut and he came back to fight Gonzaga?
I'll say that one more time. You kind of faded it out.
Yeah, no. After he first got cut, when he was on that losing streak fighting like Roy Nelson and Brendan Schaub and Frank Mir, he went away did kickboxing, won the K1 Grand Prix, which was actually like looking back was an okay like field. Like it wasn't tremendous, but it was like a solidish field. Um, came back to the UFC after beating Ishii twice, beat Gonzaga in a rematch, and then went on like an 8 fight winning streak outside of the UFC, beating like King Mo and Amir Al-Ghibari, Roy Nelson. Like, dude's had a great run for a 40-something-year-old man. Like, it just sucks he doesn't get to go out on his own terms.
Yeah.
Like, and this kind of gets lost because his UFC run was so like underwhelming and disappointing. But like the dude is one of the all-time great combat sports careers. Like, not just like kickboxing and MMA, but the dude was like he fought the ABLE Amateur Boxing World Championships. Like, he was good enough to make the Croatian team and make it into the World Championships to like qualify. Like, he is a tremendously talented fighter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he was a fighter's fighter. Like, that dude was like, he's one of those guys that's what he was born to do. Like, he was just that good. But yeah, man, that kind of sucks. He just had to just kind of abruptly kind of end things. But I mean, looking back at his career, he's given us a lot of great moments, a lot of great fights. Even though it was a losing effort, his fight versus Fedor is like one of my all-time favorite fights. His his head kick of Alexander is probably like one of my top 5 KOs. The way he just made him fall over.
Speaking of Alexander, did you hear the news about Alexander's?
Oh yeah, he got arrested, right?
Yeah, for some wild shit.
Yeah, he's been out here bugging.
Oh shit! There was that other Russian fighter who just got out of jail after he made we're not gonna tank Cro Cop's name by associating him with these psychopaths. So just hold off on that. But yeah, like shout outs to Cro Cop. I hope he recovers from a stroke. I hope he has a long and fulfilling life after all of this. Like, you really feel for the guy.
Yeah. So well wishes to Cro Cop, man. That, not just an MMA legend, just combat sports legend in general. If you don't know, go do your homework, and just go watch highlights, go watch his fights. The man was, of his era, he was definitely one of the best of his time. And it just really sucks to see him go out like this. But like you said, hopefully he does recover well, and he's able to move forward and then live a normal life at this point. But shout outs to the legend Mirko Cro Cop. Moving on to some better news. We'll do a pick me up and then we'll go sad again, because Matt Hughes is out here bugging. But PFL, they're in the news for good reasons. They signed a multi-year deal to broadcast their 10 cards this year. That'll be on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Deportes. And the first card will be on May the 9th.
Yep.
I like it. I mean, for one, I'm enjoying. Well, I literally only use ESPN Plus for UFC, to be honest. But like, I like the ESPN Plus platform. As we said with the UFC, it seems like it's benefited them. The production looks more professional. The shows seem to flow better. The stream itself is like crystal clear.
I just wish the interface was a little bit more friendly towards, I guess, a fight audience. But that's like my only criticism.
Yeah, but PFL looks like they'll probably pretty much have those same benefits, and they were already pretty much up in their production value, like when they transitioned from WSOF to PFL. So I feel like this will only help, and just exposure. Like, now we'll get to see Ray Cooper knock people out, and it'll be in front of like a national audience.
And friggin', you notice when they gave the press release, it was PFL and Kayla Harrison signed with ESPN.
Right.
They made sure to get her name in there.
Yeah, gotta throw her in there. So yeah, this is. I feel like this will be a really good look for like the stars that they have. Like you say, Kayla Harrison, people like Ray Cooper, people like um, I'm blanking out.
I don't know, Natan Schultz star.
Yeah. Right. Well. Like,
Point being, it's a platform that probably will everybody involved.
yeah.
Like
These
PFL is
yeah.
apparently getting $5 million over 2 years. I saw the number 5 million tossed out there. I didn't see if it was like 5 million a year or 5 million per year. You kind of hope it's 5 million a year, just so their budget's a little better. Because
Yeah. Because
if you're
that's
running 10 shows a year, that's only like, what is it, like a quarter mil a show, which is nothing.
yeah.
Especially
That
when
that
you're handing out like $5 million at the end on top of what like the fighters are already making for these tournaments.
yeah. So hopefully somehow ESPN and PFL the checks will add up. But I mean, I don't know. Everybody got their million in this last tournament. I haven't heard anybody go firing off or have to hunt for somebody with a hidden briefcase. So
Right.
I guess everybody's doing good. But yeah, there's just overall that's a good platform that the maybe they're not stars, but all of PFL's best will have a much larger stage to showcase what they can do, and that's good for PFL. It's good for MMA. It's a win-win. I feel like
It's good
everybody
for
wins.
Kayla Harrison.
It's great. It's great for Kayla Harrison. Um, and PFL, from what I saw, I think they're still gonna have that Thursday night on lock. Uh,
Yeah, that
'cause
seems to be the deal. Don't interfere with the UFC schedule, and you're fine.
yeah. So they got a monopoly on Thursday nights. But
You're home watching, Thursday night football. You can tune into that ESPN Plus on your phone, and you watch Kayla Harrison beat up some woman who's a barista in her like at her real job.
right. So yeah. So shout outs to PFL signing to ESPN. Oh, real quick because I actually almost forgot. Invicta FC is gonna have a tournament going down. This will be. Why don't you guys put the date at the beginning of the article? All right, so this is going down at the Memorial Hall on Friday, May the 3rd. It'll be, of course, on UFC Fight Pass. It is called Phoenix Rising. It's going to be a one-night tournament, 8-woman tournament, which will feature Mizuki Inoue, Janisa Morandin, Danielle Taylor, Juliana Lima, Kaylin Curran, Brianna Van Buren, Sharon Jacobson, and Suna Davis-daughter. Twist, though, in this tournament, just to read some of the rules that they got going on, the tournament will feature one-round fights in the quarterfinal and semifinal rounds, with the tournament final being a 3-round affair to determine the champion. Tournament matchups will be determined during a random draw prior to the event. Invicta is adding a twist to the quarterfinal fights, offering the fastest finisher the ability to pick which of the 3 remaining fighters they would like to fight. If there are no finishes in the quarterfinals, the promotion will again randomly draw for the semifinal matchup. Additionally, each finish during the tournament will earn the winning fighter a monetary bonus. So, I mean, we pretty much said this before, like, tournaments seem to really be making their wave in 2019. Invicta FC is coming in and, I guess adding their little twist to the tournament deal. So we'll see how that turns out. So that'll be a thing that happens, and that once again is going down on May the 3rd on UFC Fight Pass. So if you have Fight Pass, give that a look. And the last bit of notes before news before we get to this card, Matt Hughes is in the news, not for anything good.
I mean, when is he ever in for anything good? Like last time it was getting hit by the train. Ugh.
Well, I feel like, it was the train, but then like we saw him walk again. It was like, oh, he's good,
Yeah.
like a mini,
Yeah, but
But Yeah, it's not good now. It's definitely not good now. He is in the news for alleged domestic violence allegations from his wife, Audra Hughes. Of course, Matt Hughes is denying it. Uh, it's kind of a crazy case because it looks like between Matt Hughes' wife, Audra, and Matt Hughes' brother, whose name is Mark, it seems like they both have restraining orders against Matt. And they are alleging that Matt committed according to this article, a series of physical attacks on her. And Mark requested his restraining order after Hughes allegedly, quote unquote, roughed up Mark's 15-year-old son back in December.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's not a good look for Matt. I mean, he's denying it, but I just kind of feel like if your wife and your brother have a restraining order against you, not looking too good, bro.
And I don't want to profile people. Like between the CTE from the fighting and the CTE and like the brain damage from freaking getting hit by a train, like obviously, like it would be completely irresponsible to put that aside because that does fuck with people.
Yeah.
But Matt Hughes has kind of always been a piece of shit. Like, and this is not like me inferring onto his character so much as me reading parts of his autobiography in which he openly brags about being a piece of shit. Like just a garbage human being who, like in his own book, brags about the time him and his brother assaulted their father because his father reprimanded them for riding motorcycles without like helmets.
Yeah. Ugh.
His future 13-year-old wife at a freaking grocery store when he was 20.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if Hughes still has like a job now or if he's still like if he's getting paid by the UFC at all or whatever. But this is a dude they put in charge of like their code of conduct for fighters, which is why it was always the joke.
He's gonna have a white box in his office come Monday. Yeah, I don't not looking too good, bro. But yeah, Matt Hughes, um, out here not
living his best life.
Alrighty. All right. So that's pretty much all for the news and notes for the week. So before we get to this card, I'm going to attempt to buzz in Stoges to see if he is available. All right, so three amigos. Oh, go ahead.
Stokes, I have to.
What's up?
I don't remember. Have you been on the show since the last time Cody Garbrandt fought?
I don't remember.
I don't think he is. I'm pretty sure that was the last time.
What was it? What was the last card? It was the Conor Khabib card. That was like my last time.
Okay.
Oh no, yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, that was. That's right, because we all just started laughing for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, those were good times. Those were good times, good times. But all right, so I guess we will just
Right.
It just died. We could have had that moment all over again.
Yeah. But he had to be a fucking man or whatever.
Exactly.
and not take the easy way out.
Yeah, you know.
Katie would have done it.
All right, so let's get this show started. UFC 235 went down yesterday. T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, headlined by John Jones and Anthony Smith. And we'll just run this from. You know what? Actually, real quick before we get started, quick shout outs to Cheeto Vera. I realized this like halfway through the card. Like this card was so good, and we still didn't get that fight. The Cheeto Vera and Frankie Saenz fight. One of them two got injured. I can't remember who. I feel like it was Cheeto. But
I think it was Cheeto, yeah.
So shout out to Cheeto. That would have been awesome if he still could have been on this card. But anywho, John Jones, Anthony Smith. I don't really have. You know, in my write-up that I did of this, my only hope for Anthony Smith, like aside from divine intervention, was you know, he's got decent size, he's powerful, he can land, he can throw hard. You know, maybe you just happen to catch John in some wild flurry, land a good shot, follow up, and pray you can get a finish. But outside of that, like I didn't see anything else he could do to hope to win, and that, you know, he didn't do much. I mean, he survived, which, you know, I'm not really surprised that he was able to go 5 because he is pretty durable. I think it was part him durable and part, I don't know if I want to say John coasted. Well, he did say in the post fight though that he was surprised that Smith took all of his shots, like he just kind of never went away. But yeah, this fight was just Smith kind of surviving. Like John,
it looked like
I was gonna say John Jones was just kind of John Jonesing, like, you know, teep kicks, being more creative with the strikes. I felt like the fight started off a little bit slow, and then eventually John just, I want to say by about the third round, like really got more comfortable and just started. He was just able to pick his shots just really well, and Anthony wasn't really offering much of return, or wasn't really giving John anything to worry about other than he's just not going away. Like Smith just, he wouldn't go down really no matter what happened. And then, you know, Anthony Smith, man, if you would have taken that illegal knee and said you couldn't have continued, I would not have judged you. But, you know, props to Lionheart. He didn't take the easy way out. I definitely would have took the easy way out. just in the card with chaos. Just be that guy. But
Like,
go ahead.
He basically threw away 500K. No, wait. He threw away 550K, including, if you include the Reebok money.
But, you know,
like, listen, I respect the dude for wanting to win the title, like the legit way. But in the like 8 minutes that followed that, what did he do? Like, it's not like he went out there and died on his sword, you know what I mean? Like, he just went out there and got beat up slowly for 10 minutes.
Yeah. This fight by, like, the third going on into the fourth, I was like, all right, I kind of really don't want to watch this anymore. Because it was just...
It's pretty obvious one of these men don't want to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't want to be here and has really nothing to offer. Like, he didn't even really have a wing and a prayer. Like, he was just there. Like, he was just there being a punching bag. It was so bad that I was getting mad at John. Like, John, can you just finish this? I want to go to sleep now. Like, I'm kind of tired. I kind of just want to go to sleep.
I like to think John was just like, no, you're going to sit here and you're going to take this ass whooping.
Yeah. You earned this. You thought I was one of those other old guys you beat up, but yeah. John Jones them. Like, he just kind of tooled them. I mean, I will say, compared to other Jones performances, it wasn't like his most exciting thing to watch. Probably just because it was so one-sided that it was like, man, like it was like, why am I watching this anymore? I pretty much know how this fight's gonna go, and Smith has given me no reason to believe that this fight is ever gonna change. Like, he's just gonna keep getting pummeled, and he's just gonna take it because he's that durable and he can take it, but he has no offense, or he's not showing any offense. So it's like, why are we here? What are we doing? But Jones gonna Jones. It is
So
what it is.
yeah, I think a small part of it is like Anthony Smith has lost a lot in his career. He's battled back through like a lot of tough situations, like the what you call it fight, the Hector Lombard fight, right? He's down, he's getting his ass beat. The other guy tires out. He storms his way back into a fight. Kind of how Anthony Smith does his business. But I think that with guys like Anthony Smith and OSP, they at one point they realize they're going to lose, and then they're able to shut down the part of themselves that is just actively getting hurt the most. You know what I mean? Like as like a journeyman, you kind of learn how to lose without taking the least amount of ass whooping possible.
Right.
Which we don't see with guys like I don't like DC. DC is just going to go out there and battle. So I think we saw a little bit of that like play into the fact that okay, Jones took 5 rounds to get it took this going to a decision for the fight to end as opposed to Jones just beating the crap out of him and stopping him.
So you're saying
I'm
fighters
saying
who suck, fighters who suck are able to basically survive against Jones.
like there's
Well,
this like there's a survivalist aspect to being a fighter who's just not who's forced to survive a lot, basically.
I was saying it kind of makes sense because and this is not to like pile on Anthony Smith, but like it's partially true that if you watch a lot of his fights, there's always a moment or moments where he's put in a bad spot. Even in the Vulcan fight, that fight didn't start off really that good for him.
Yeah, he got his ass beat.
Yeah, he had to really like come back and battle for it. So like him being put in tough spots, where he just has to take a lot of pain, like that's not really it's not a new thing for him. But John is one of those guys that you don't want to get behind the scorecards on him. Yeah, you don't want to get behind the scorecards on him. He's not the kind of guy you want to pull off the comeback win against because he's just not gonna he's too smart to let you pull off that comeback. It's not gonna happen.
You know what's the crazy part, and maybe this is just me projecting, but like it kind of feels like if Smith like in the earlier parts of the fight had just went hard, he might have been able to actually land something effective.
why didn't he just rush Jones like at any point of the fight? Like just like what do you got to lose? Like just rush him and start throwing punches.
Like I think it just shows us just how fucking scary Jones is. Like there's a 6'6", 200-something pound man in front of you throwing like spinning back fists with the same speed that you throw your jab.
Thiago Santos would have threw at him.
Thiago Santos.
He is going to throw at him.
He'd emptied the whole tank.
You see, the third round they just should have flew in Thiago Santos and just been like swap.
Right. Yeah, but
fresh body in there. I mean,
it's not.
I see it.
It's not really a ton to dissect in this fight. Like we all love a Cinderella story, but there were only so many ways that this fight was in reality gonna play out, and this was one of them. Like if Smith didn't get finished early, it was gonna be a long, drawn out, just kind of beating, and that's pretty much what we got. But I guess before we close that fight out, I'm just gonna say the last remaining hopes for 205 are Johnny Walker, Thiago Santos, and Dominic Reyes. These are the last of the Mohicans who can try to take the belt from Jones. Those are the only 3 I can see posing any remote kind of threat. Thiago mostly just because he's so reckless and he's crazy enough to just go in there and throw, and he might be able to land something. And Reyes and Johnny, because both of them have pretty good size for 205ers. Reyes has pretty good footwork in boxing, and as we'll get to Johnny Walker in a few, the man just invents stuff and does stuff on the fly, and it just works. He got to work on that worm, though. But yeah, work on that
We'll
worm.
get to that.
Yeah, but yeah, I am happy that we have a couple of prospects at 205. I think it gives Jones some people to fight, and I'd be interested in those fights. But man, oh man, just good luck, man, to anybody who got to fight John, man. It's so weird because you watch John fight, and it's not like we've watched John go in and like one punch KO people. Like it's not that kind of scary. It's a different kind of scary to where it's just like this guy can do everything. Like, he can probably do everything I can do, but better. And that's not even including the wrestling, which we didn't really, see a ton of in this fight. But that's just a whole nother layer that when he uses that, it's just, yeah, he's a scary dude to go in there and try to tangle with. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that fight. Good luck to anybody else trying to fight John. Good luck.
Thiago Santos doesn't need luck.
Like, who can realistically beat him? Like, realistically beat this guy.
A heavyweight.
Like, I just don't know. A heavyweight.
I was gonna say
somebody. I don't know.
I was gonna say a heavyweight, and out of the three people I mentioned, it's so hard for me to still. I firmly believe Johnny Walker is gonna get a title shot, regardless. But the thing about Walker that it's still hard to gauge because every time we see him fight, it never goes like over a minute. Like I still don't even really know what Johnny Walker is, other than like I don't know him outside of
really athletic.
Yeah, I'm extremely athletic. I'm very explosive, and I can just kind of make these moves up on the fly. And because when I was watching his fight, I was like, well, he could pose a threat again. Because I think we mentioned this in one of the other podcasts. Like, the one thing I've never seen anybody really do against Jones is just go in there and just do something crazy. Like, just go in there, forget a game plan, just wild out. Just go in there and just do whatever comes to your mind and hope it works. And I feel like Walker would be that kind of guy. Yeah, I don't know though. I don't know. It might just have to be a heavyweight, to be honest. 205, man, it's yikes.
Right.
I'd be pissed.
A heavyweight wrestler that has cardio or something? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, like Curtis. I think Curtis Blaze could be Jones.
Yeah, I think Jones's problem is going to be at heavyweight is like the power that everybody has up there. Like,
well, that and like I think he struggles with dudes who are just as long as him. Like a dude like Francis Ngannou who can realistically hit him
right
at like his kicking range. This is going to be a nightmare. Like, of course, like Jones could outmaneuver him, but
yeah, I think at heavyweight he's gonna have to work a lot harder for his wins. Like, I don't see him realistically like coasting at heavyweight.
Yeah, like that effort would not win him a fight with like Mirko Ngannou or Blades.
Yeah, he's gonna. But you know what's scary? Like, we haven't seen him at heavyweight. What if he goes to heavyweight and dude just like suddenly has like KO power? Like he goes in there and just starts flatlining dudes. It's like we don't even know what Jones at heavyweight looks like. Like, he could be even scarier. But yeah, I think heavyweight might be his only chance at losing. Like 205, there's a small bit of hope, but I don't know, man. You guys got your work cut out for you. But that was Jones Smith. Not a ton to dissect. It was a one-sided slacking. Going from one-sided slacking to another. This one being the challenger instead of the champ. Co-main event. Kamaru Usman and Tyron Woodley. Jeez. Us Christ.
So I know Usman got like 1 10-8 round on 2 judges' scorecards, but like realistically he had like 3.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a complete wipeout. I wasn't so surprised that Usman won. I was just surprised that it was so one-sided. Yeah, and in my write-up for this, I said that Usman's path to victory would be just don't headhunt, don't go in there and try to get a crazy KO, pick your shots, just make Woodley work. Because as good as Woodley is, he is not the most. He doesn't have like the most offensive output. So if you can just outwork him, you can find that you can get a path to victory. And I thought Usman had the skill set to do that. I thought they matched up pretty even. I didn't think Usman was just gonna go in and just ragdoll the man for 5 rounds and just kind of beat on him. Like it was. I don't want to make excuses for Woodley. I've never, even in the other fights I've seen him lose, he looked really just like he just wasn't even there. Like after every round, his corner was just yelling at him. And he was just looking like, I don't really know what's happening right now. Like, I'm just, like, he looked so lost. Like, he had no clue what he was doing out there. Like, Usman every round just feign in, close in, pick my shots real quick, take you down. I'm going to win every position battle. I'm going to get you on the ground. Like, he worked Woodley to death. And then, like, the only moment Woodley really had to win, I think that was in, like, the 4th when they had that little flurry moment. But even in that, like, Usman was dropping bombs on him. Woodley landed a couple of good shots, but I think he was, at that point, kind of gassed out, and I don't think they were landing the way, well, they didn't have the effect that they normally would if he would have landed that in, like, the first round. But, yeah, Usman put it on him, man. Just great takedowns, elbows from the clinch, ground and pound, just position control. He didn't let Woodley breathe.
The body punches.
Yeah.
Like, after the 3rd round, they showed the graph of the strikes, and, like, apparently Usman hit Woodley 120 times to the body in the first 3 rounds of this fight.
Ugh.
Insane. Oh, like, and honestly, you could probably count the amount of strikes Woodley freaking threw in the whole fight and on, like, your fingers and toes, because, like, he really just looked like he got up out of bed and walked into the cage, even more than usual.
Yeah, I saw somebody mention this in a random Facebook chat, but I didn't see any reports of it, so I can't really confirm it. But I saw somebody mention that they thought he had like a foot fracture, but I didn't see that. I didn't see any reports confirming that, so I can't really speak on it. But it was weird. This fight reminded me kind of the Rory fight, but different, to where like he does this in a lot of his fights, but against certain opponents he can kind of get away with it. Like, he does tend to put his back against the cage a lot, but other guys he's fought, like, they don't have the wrestling acumen, or they aren't able to put pressure as well as Usman did. So he can just kind of explode with a right and just, take him out, and that's kind of is what it is. But yeah, I don't know, man. That was a weird. I've never seen Woodley look that flat. Even in other fights he's lost, he just looked so. And it was like immediate. Like after that first round, that man just looked like he had no. There was no urgency, like at all. Like Usman just kind of did what he wanted.
Yeah, basically.
Like, does Woodley just have a problem with like other really good wrestlers? Like,
Yeah, that would make sense, because this is a similar issue he had with Jake Shields.
Didn't Jake win that fight?
Yeah, but most people.
Jake
the
Shields,
motherfucking goat.
The goat.
I mean, Jake Shields got like 20 good wins, man.
Yeah, Jake has some great names on his resume, and all the fights are ugly, but he wins them. Yeah, that might be a thing. Woodley does. I mean, and I thought that was the one thing that Usman had over like everybody else that Woodley has fought is he. I didn't think it would be this good, this effective, but like he has the wrestling. Like everybody else, Woodley has fought as of recent. Like Till's not going for takedowns or doesn't really have like great takedown defense. Wonder Boy's not a wrestler. Robbie has good takedown defense, but he throws his hands a lot, so he leaves himself open to get hit. But Usman has that wrestling that could match Woodley. So at most, I thought this would be like a stalemate with wrestling, and then maybe we'd have some, sloppy wrestling, kickboxing, or something like that. But yeah, I think it was just the pressure, which Woodley has always had problems with, people who can get in his face. But the pressure mixed with the wrestling that he couldn't fend them off. Yeah, bad combination.
Yeah. Like he never even had a chance to throw that right hand.
And do you think that does he deserve a rematch? Because I don't think so. And I feel bad saying that because the man defended the belt 4 times. This would have been 5th. But like this was such a wash that I'm just like I don't know if you get an immediate rematch off of this. Like
the UFC is never going to give Tyron Woodley another title shot. If we want to be real about it.
Yeah, they are not. They are happy he lost. I mean, a fair world, yes. But we don't live in a fair world, and I was kind of like, yeah, you don't get like. It's one thing if you lose really quickly. It's another thing if you lose a close decision. It's another thing when you lose realistically. You could have realistically lost like 50-43 on the scorecards. So, yeah, no, I don't think he gets a rematch.
Yeah, you get you got put to the back of the line. Yeah, it is another fight where like there's not a ton to dissect because it was so one-sided, but on Usman's part it was just a really that's a championship performance. Like dude came out there and like I'm taking this belt from you and there's nothing that you can do about it.
Taking the title from the champ.
I guess this begs the question next then.
We already know the answer to it.
Who Usman and Colby? How does this fight play out?
Hopefully Usman beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, I got.
Like watching that fight, like it's like, oh, maybe Colby would have beaten Woodley, but seeing the way what Usman did, I think Usman's gonna give Colby the work, and that's not even coming from a guy like I'm not like hating on Colby or anything either. It's just from
Yeah, I think Colby because the one thing at least Woodley, even though he didn't get to use it, that he always has in his back pocket is that power. Like Colby doesn't even have that. Like it's just volume, and we've seen Usman's gas tank. He can go for 5 rounds, and I think Usman's. I'm willing to bet he's more powerful, probably more athletic. They both don't have like the best stand up, but Usman definitely hits harder. I don't know how Colby wins this.
Do you think Colby would have beaten Woodley last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I think so too.
Yeah, you know what?
I feel like it would kind of been the same game plan. Like
it would have been the same game plan. I think their fight might have been a bit closer. Well, it depends. If Woodley would have threw something, I think he could have beat Colby. Because I don't think Colby. I think if Colby would have won, I don't know if he would have been taking Woodley down so much, more than him just, I'm going to sloppily kickbox and lean you against the fence for 5 rounds. I don't know if he'd have been able to ragdoll him as much as Usman did. But he might have won a really ugly, like, split decision that would have left a lot of people's feelings hurt. I could see that. He might have won, to be honest. He might have won. I think it would have been closer, but yeah. I almost want to give Woodley benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, man, and not to take away from Usman, because he gave the blues, and there's no disputing that, but like, you know, maybe you just had an off night, maybe you were injured, because he just didn't throw anything. Like
maybe this is just him getting old, because like this is how guys like Woodley tend to like start to fade. Like they just stop throwing. Like the holes that they saw before just aren't there, and they start reacting slower or not at all.
Yeah, it was bizarre. It was. I've never seen anything like that. Actually, real quick, breaking news. I think Joey's trying to get in on this.
Oh, really?
I think Joey's alive, ladies and gentlemen.
About time.
All right, y'all. Let's try to add.
So does this mean we'll get Woodley Wonderboy 3?
Well, now Wonder Boy's got to get past Pettis, you know, because
that's a fight we need.
That's a thing that's going down. So, you know, it might be Pettis Woodley. Joey, are you alive?
Pettis.
I'm very upset. I'm very upset. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I thought we record later. So I was. This feels like sabotage today.
Dude, I thought I told you. Oh, no, I didn't tell you the time?
Did not.
Oh, God.
Bad.
Yeah, that was both of our faults.
Here we go. This is like some pure ass.
We're still at the very beginning of the card.
Master game plan by me.
Yeah.
Oh, Stoges is here. No wonder I was fucked over.
So yeah, well, welcome in. We got Joey in the dojo now.
But my master game plan.
We thought you were buried under 3 feet of snow.
Apparently, we're getting like 1.5 feet. So I gotta.
Ooh.
It's gonna be.
Yikes.
And then I'll probably get a power outage because that's what happens. And then we will move on. I will move on with my week of no power. What fight are we on?
Well, real quick, since you weren't here for the first two, we'll let you do your quick recap. Just, you know, fire off some quick thoughts on Jones Smith and Usman Woodley.
They happened. They were fights that happened. There's nothing to say about Jones and Smith. I will say that I thought that, like, I'm not holding John Jones responsible for not finishing Anthony Smith. I think John Jones is a carrier when he fights guys who aren't that good, and where he doesn't feel like a level of. When he doesn't feel a threat, I think he's just like, all right, well, we'll just get this over with for 5 rounds. Like, he did it against Rashad. He did it against OSP. Pretty well. Probably the best title performance from a challenger since. The only one that comes to mind is Garbrandt against Cruz. You know, he just pretty much did whatever he wanted to. I want to point out that I, on this podcast, said that I thought he would beat both Covington and Woodley. So point for me on that regard. Still not happy with the welterweight division. May it burn.
How dare you? Lazarowski dos Santos is fighting next week.
Okay, but like I think that we separate that. Like that's not the welterweight division. That's the violence weight. Like that's where you put all the great like action fighters. They go in one separate, and then you have like Woodley, Askren, Usman, Covington, and I guess we'll put Gregor Gillespie in there too, even though he's not. He's a light.
Oh my god.
So he's an honorary member of the sleepy weight.
Oh god, Joey comes in here disrespecting.
That division.
What's up?
That division, man. That division is like, I just want to throw up.
Yeah, you know, you got Anti-Cool over here standing for Woodley.
I continue to do so.
Standing for Woodley publicly while the rest of us are like, just, you know.
Hey, Woodley was sticking it to the man for us.
Exactly.
They hated Woodley, so we had to root for him because I can't root for the man. Nobody roots for the man.
Well, I root for my investment on entertainment, and I've been robbed many a time.
Actually, you know what? I'm glad you just said the word investment because I actually did purchase this card like legally. Like I didn't use alternative methods, and I felt pretty good about what I got.
See, that's the problem when you say it like that, because that opens the door for people to then try to figure out which ones you are alternative methoding.
That's part of the mystery.
I bought it too.
Yeah. I caved in and I bought it. And you know what fight? Everybody's gonna hate me for this. I'm sorry. But this next fight made me feel like I got my $65 worth. Because I just knew that this fight was gonna be shenanigans. I felt it. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I knew something in this fight was either gonna make me laugh or it was just gonna be craziness. And I got everything that it was gonna. I knew it. Ben Askren and Robbie Lawler. Robbie comes in and looks like a stone cold killer, and Askren looks like a frat guy who like used to work out but stopped, but he's still in shape. He's like in between the athletic and dad bod. Like he's not full dad bod, but he's almost there. But yeah.
Robbie looked ripped again.
He did. He looked like he was gonna win this early. Like he came out. I mean, Askren did what Askren does. We know his boxing is it's not good. I'm gonna throw a couple of throw some pitter patters at you so I can get a hold of you. I mean, he got a hold of Robbie. He attempted to take down, and then in a strange turn of events, he got. I'm pretty sure that was a wrestling slam that Robbie did. Like, it has a name, and I can't think of it.
Death Valley Driver, Burning Hammer. It's one of those kind of deals.
Yeah, he dropped Askren with this WWE wrestling slam, and then proceeds to pummel Askren. And there was a point where I thought the fight was over because that ground and pound was just vicious, and like. Two of those punches like really snapped Askren's head, and I thought it was over. But Herb let him live, so the fight went on. Askren somehow survived, managed to get back to his feet. They clinched against the cage. He caught a knee. His face was all bloody. Was not looking too good. And then Askren, I gotta give him all his props, regardless if you thought the fight should have been stopped or not. The man survived the barrage. Got a takedown, like relentlessly went for a takedown, ended up getting it, took Robbie down, and then we have the bulldog choke incident. So I'm pretty sure listeners, you've probably seen this replay 1,000 times. You probably threw your remote out the window or kicked over your TV. I'm not gonna lie, in real time, I thought Robbie was out because I don't know if I think it was his right hand. Whatever that free hand was, that like you couldn't, Herb couldn't see it because he was standing on the other side, but that hand like dropped for like 2 seconds, and he wasn't doing anything. So in that quick little window, I thought he was out. Not gonna lie. But obviously, he popped back up right after. But I don't know, man. I know people. I saw in my timeline people were piling on Herb. Boy, he was catching the wrath. I'm not mad at him for this stoppage. I'm not, because Robbie, like I said, in that quick moment, and it was a very brief window, he wasn't moving. He didn't do anything. Like, his hand just dropped and it just sat there. And in that moment that Herb went in, it was just one of those. There's another fight I can't think of that I feel like there was something similar that happened. But like, we've seen this before. Like, dude looks like he goes out for a moment and then he pops back to life real quick. Now, I'm not gonna say, I can't say one way or another definitively if he was out, but I'm not gonna pile on Herb because from the angle he had and looking at Robbie's hand, that to me looked limp for a second. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm sorry. Now everybody can throw rocks at me because everybody loves Robbie. I love Robbie too, but it's.
I don't know if it's everybody loves Robbie.
I guess it's our job to pile on Herb.
Well, I mean,
no, go for it.
Once I feel like once a card, Herb Dean does something that's. I think it's a two-part thing. I think one is the fact that they continually say he's the best ref in MMA, which only like when you make a mistake, I think that it's only natural to get the big blowback from that. And two, it just feels like he does make a mistake every card. Every time I'm on here, there's a Herb Dean related.
Yeah, he's the king of referee incidents.
He really is, isn't he?
Like, I'm trying to think, and like, is it because he's on every single fight card ever?
Yeah, like that could be it. You know, it's just natural. For me though, it's like, I think the main problem is just that Dana White says he's the best referee at MMA, and when you're the best referee, quote unquote, and you make mistakes, and we all make mistakes, but I think when you make mistakes and you have that title, it brings undue, unnecessary, unneeded extra attention. So it's my take on that.
And it sucked for him too, because I think Herb was at a really bad angle because they were so close to the cage, and like Robbie's head was like tucked in. So like I don't know how much of that he really like saw, other than Robbie's hand just kind of like flop down for a second. So I don't know. That was a bad spot to get caught in, but
Or,
I don't know. This fight was shenanigans. It was pure shenanigans.
so I haven't been able to see like a clear like photo or angle on like the choke, but was the choke even in?
Robbie said it wasn't. Now, because I don't know if you guys saw the press conference, but Robbie was up there, and his interpretation of it was like around his ears, and he said that he couldn't hear Herb Dean. So, and obviously he's not looking at him. So when he felt it, he assumed it was Herb grabbing his arm, and he gave it like a thumbs up. And he says Herb Dean didn't see it, I guess, or whatever, but he said he was fine. He said it was just like a tight squeeze, and he was just like, I'm just going to stay still because he's going to burn his arms out on me. So that was his take on it. Bob Bennett was up there, and I guess he had spoken to Herb Dean, and he said there was no need for a replay because he believes that Robbie was out and then came back, I guess, immediately as soon as this choke was let go.
I mean,
I don't believe Bob Bennett personally. But I mean, I think his job is to be honest, but also to talk honestly about Herb Dean. Bob Bennett also revealed, or kind of revealed, that he might have thought that fight needed to be stopped with the ground and pound, because he did ask Herb Dean about it. So, it's which I personally do think it should have been stopped as well, but
Yeah.
because you can't. For me, you can't talk fighter safety, like, because a big part of that was fighter safety. Like, he was like, you'd rather stop it a second too early than a second too late, which I understand. But if that's the case, then that fight probably should have been stopped when Lawler was landing really, really, really strong ground and pound, and Askren was like on his stomach.
Yeah. And even like for the second where like, for that second after the ground and pound was over and Askren was kind of laying on his back, he looked dead for those first 2 seconds. Like, I don't think he knew what was going on for a while after that. But I mean, yeah, I get it. You basically had 2 incidents in this fight. The stoppage that should have been a stoppage, and I guess the stoppage that I guess should not have, or nobody really knows. Three sides to a story in this case, I feel like. But I don't know. It's one of those. We said before we started recording, or we might have said this in the beginning. Like, this card gave you the best and worst of what MMA is as a sport. These are moments that just kind of happen. Like, you just
kind of hope they don't happen in a fight of this magnitude.
Yeah.
or Stoges, I'd like your opinion on this. I know you're a degenerate gambler. How would you feel if you had put money on this fight and this is how it ends?
I would have been fine because I would have put money on Askren on it.
All right,
I
there
would
we
have
go.
put money on Askren, even though he was like -2 something.
Oh boy.
Feel bad for Robbie. He probably should have won that fight when it should have been stopped, and then I don't think he was out. You know, so I feel bad for Robbie.
I don't know if they will do it. I would like to see a rematch though. I wouldn't mind them immediately just running this back.
Dana said that they would try to book that the rematch would happen, and then Ben Askren was like, "Yeah, no, I'll pass on that."
Yeah, he wants to fight the winner of Darren Till, Jorge Masvidal, which suggests to me that he kind of knows who he kind of he might be hip to the jive as to who won that fight technically.
Hey man, I'm not mad at you. Robbie is not a guy I'm jumping at a rematch for.
What I'm really surprised about is he didn't call out. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't call out Usman.
I don't think anybody's calling out Usman anytime soon. So
yeah.
except for one guy whose entire gimmick.
I think that
Some smoke you just don't want. Some smoke you just need to avoid.
Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Perfect.
God, Ben Askren. What a debut.
Joey,
What's up?
You think Usman's gonna wash Covington? You think Usman's gonna wash Covington?
You know, we live in the darkest timeline, so Covington might win because it's just like we live in this. Yeah. What did Ross Pearson say? His insight was like something like this fucking sport's weird. You never know with this sport, so there you go.
Yeah.
For me, Usman's been the best welterweight since like mid 2017. So, and Colby Covington's point style, clinch fighting is not necessarily making me enthusiastic that he can beat Usman.
I can't take a man seriously who gets boxed up by Damian Maia.
That is true in that first round. Maia, but he did put paws all over Kobe. Man, but
yeah. I would like that's the fight I wanted to see like 4 years ago.
Askren.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like two guys who.
I mean, I'm with it.
Two guys who, you know, what else can you do with them? Like, what are you going to do with Maia? What are you going to do with Askren? Just let him go do something. Let them fight one another. So is this a good ROI?
Let them hug each other to death.
Let them listen. Love, you know, MMA needs more love.
Oh, what were you gonna say? Is this a good ROI for Askren?
Yeah, like if you were, you know, you traded your mouse. Did you get what you?
I mean, to be honest, this generated more interest than if Askren had laid on top of Robbie for like.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like in an odd way this is a win for the UFC. Regardless if people want to see him win or lose, they're gonna watch the next fight. So I guess that's for now it's a win. I don't know what this says for the long run. But I guess for now it's, you know, interest is good. People are talking, so, you know, people are talking means they'll watch. So I guess it's good for now. But we'll see if the train stays on the tracks. I do not want to see Askren versus Till or Masvidal.
That fight does nothing for. To me, that seems like those are like easier wins.
Yeah, don't do that, Askren. Don't come over here and do that.
See, I don't know if he could beat Till. He could probably beat.
I'm actually almost like 99% sure he beats Till.
I gotta see Till.
Because Robbie just throws punches and Till. Like, I like Till and I want to like him more, but Jesus Christ, he doesn't throw more than 2 punches around. Like, it's like if he doesn't get the KO shot in a 1-2, he doesn't know what to do. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you here?
See, that's the weird thing. Like he can be really versatile with his offense. Like if you watch his fights against a lesser competition, he's really good. And then it's just like, we. And against Woodley, he looked so out of his depth. Yeah, so, but I would on power alone, I would give him a chance.
I don't know. I think Till catches him like one time. Somehow Askren survives and takes him down, and we get another ugly fight. But I don't know, man. I guess Askren gonna Askren. So, that was a fight that happened, and
Yeah, I mean that's a great way to put it. That was a fight that happened. What do you do with Lawler then if you're not doing a rematch?
Fun tour. I don't know.
A fun tour.
Put Lawler against some of those violent weights.
Fun tour.
A fun tour.
Yeah,
give Lawler some of the violent weight fights.
I'm thinking of a fun tour like Robbie Lawler going to amusement parks, and I think I'd be cool with that series. I think I'd prefer that over like looking for a fight.
It's Robbie Lawler like joyously riding first wheel.
Robbie rides the roller coaster with like no emotion on his face because he's not afraid. They show the pictures at the end of the ride, and he's just staring stone faced.
I'm just imagining him doing like ski
Oh god.
Go ahead, Stoges. What do you got?
I was just gonna say Robbie going to different water slide parks to conquer his fear of water.
Oh man.
To his credit, by the way, we should give Robbie Lawler a lot of credit. Like if this happens to somebody else, they're still talking about it right now.
Yeah.
He was at the press conference like, oh yeah, I'd like to do it again. Just very calm, no blaming the commission, didn't put Herb Dean under the bus. He's a better man. A better man than you?
Yes. I'd be so pissed.
Robbie said, like, you know, he's like at that point of his career, you know.
I feel like he just has fun no matter what. And
I don't know, he thought that first round was really mad.
Oh, you know, beginning. Emotion's still running high. I think he just kind of rolls with the punches at this point. Just kind of, you know, whatever happens, happens. But
he's got some water boy in him. You know, very calm and composed until the snap, and then he's screeching everywhere.
I keep picturing Robbie in the water boy.
Here we go.
Everything's the devil to you,
have you seen like have you seen like that thing where like the Sixers owner like tries to get Joel Embiid to like go down a water slide, but like he's so scared?
No.
I feel like that's what Robbie would be like.
Why's Joel Embiid afraid of? Probably because he's like 6'8", so maybe it looks a lot, you know. I don't know. That's weird. You see a guy like Joel Embiid who looks like he could like punch your head clean off, but he's afraid of a water slide.
Oh man!
Is it because he's so tall and it looks different to him? Like his vantage point is different.
Like, it took him like 30 minutes to go down. Like it was hilarious.
Well, like, was there like a big pool at the end of it? Like,
yeah, it was like 2 feet of water.
Maybe he was horrified at the idea of because he's so long and gangly that you know.
Yeah, the Sixers owner was like, "Wait, why are you drowning? Just stand up."
That's funny. But yeah, man. Askren, you got to win over Lawler via bulldog choke. I guess put an asterisk next to it. I don't know. Weird fight.
Somebody on Twitter said it best, and I think that this pretty much sums it up. Like Askren was given the opportunity to kind of get out of a bad spot. Robbie Lawler wasn't. So at the end of the day, just move on with it. MMA is going to make you mad about something else. Probably.
Yeah, and the next thing MMA makes you mad about will probably be a lot worse than what this was.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It'll be much worse.
Is this Ben's best win of his career, technically?
I don't know, man. Carl Amasu is a pretty tough individual.
It's up there. So it's up there with the Limas of the world.
He did fight Diego Lima. I would say it has to be his best win.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say so because we've never seen him get pummeled this much and have to really, you know, pull this big of a comeback against somebody.
I will say this. I'm harsh on commentary. You guys know that. I was rooting for Dominic Cruz when it sounded like he was going to jump over the table and slap the shit out of Joe Rogan when he kept bringing up that one fight where Askren got beat up and then recovered. And Cruz just very, very, very calmly goes, "That wasn't Robbie Lawler." It's like, thank you. There is in fact a difference.
Luis Santos.
Yeah, like there is. Cruz is just like, that's not Robbie Lawler.
Oh yeah.
True.
Oh boy.
True,
indeed.
He's getting a
Oh,
little
boy.
better. Cruz is getting a little better.
Moving on. Next fight.
Yeah.
Wei Li Zhang and Tisha Torres. I was actually really looking forward to this. I love Torres. I've been a fan since Invicta, but I'm fully on the Wei Li Zhang hype train. I'm just gonna ride it until it crashes. I didn't realize until they fought that like Tisha Torres was like fighting herself, but somebody who was like
4 inches taller.
yeah, she fought like a 2.0 version of herself. Because they move really similar. A lot of their strikes are kind of similar. The way they attack is similar, but Zhang has more output. God, I don't know where she just. I want to know what her workout regimen is. Like she is just. Her strength is just kind of weird. Like she just muscles people. Like she's got like that Derek Lewis. Like my get up strategy is to just roll you over. Like it's not really a ton of technique. I can just kind of push you. And I can just kind of bully you and make you get off of me. But yeah, it was weird. They fight very similarly. But yeah, Zhang I thought just much more output, great use of body kicks, leg kicks, side kicks. Torres did a good job of landing that right hand, and then she also started throwing her own side kicks. I think what it came really down to is they were. I want to say they were. I don't say even on the feet, but Zhang just kind of threw more. But I think the grappling is pretty much what made a difference because when it came to just grappling and yeah, like she was able to get the better of pretty much like all of those exchanges that they had. Like every time Torres looked like she was about to have an advantage, Zhang, I'm just gonna muscle you over. Let me get my position now, and you know, Torres just couldn't really get out of those spots. And it was close on the feet, but Zhang just, like I said, she just threw more. She was able to land more. So that's gotta suck for Torres. Like you really were fighting. Like you look across the cage, and like man, she does everything I do, but she's a little stronger. She's, that's just gotta really suck. But nah, I knew this fight was gonna be really competitive. I was really hyped for it. And I like what I saw from Zhang. The one thing that worries me about her going forward is that I do think a lot of her, I guess more specific to her grappling, she relies a lot on just like brute strength. And I'm wondering at some point, like if you run into somebody like an Andrade, that you might not be able to just kind of bully around like that. That eventually somebody like that could give her problems. But nah, good fight from both. Very competitive, very back and forth. But Zhang just more output and just that like superhuman strength she has. Just I think that kind of just got her the win.
Yeah, no, like just ridiculous. Someone pointed out like just ridiculous ability on the lead on her lead side to just those same side counters. Really messed with like Tisha Torres' timing, her range. Like yeah, we didn't get to see it last night. She's also like a better finisher than Torres, like a ridiculously better finisher than Torres. So she has that going for her. Like I don't know if she has what it takes to beat like a Rose Namajunas or a Jessica Andrade, but like she's definitely one of the top 5 fighters in the division. Like, she might be China's first real champion in the UFC.
Oh, I'm keeping hope alive. I think she can at least make it to the fight. I just don't know if. I'm not sure if she wins it.
Yeah, like
But she'll have a chance to win it. I think she'll just have to whoever's champ by the time she gets up there. She's gotta have a real good game plan, and be able to stick with it all throughout.
yeah.
Is she China's best fighter right now?
Yes.
I can't even like name other people,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
But
That's a good argument for me. I mean,
there are a couple like dudes. What's the name? Zidane.
Yeah, Song Yadong would be the only guy who I would say could
Yeah.
be on her level.
Oh yeah. I forgot about him. How could I? Team Alpha Meltdown.
oh, he was supposed to be on this card actually. Was he?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that sucks. Oh yeah, he was supposed to fight Perez.
Yeah.
So we could have had that. We were robbed. But yeah,
Wait.
yeah, you wouldn't get an argument. She probably is the best fighter out of China. You wouldn't get an argument from me. I mean, she's definitely going to get to a title shot before any of the rest of them do.
Song Yadong? Song Yadong or Alejandro?
Yeah, Song Yadong.
Or Alejandro Perez?
Both.
Alejandro Perez.
Both. Well, Song Yadong I do know is Chinese. Alejandro Perez will leave the door open.
1/10 Chinese.
You never know. Maybe he's got to do a 23andMe.
I mean, Nate Robinson is like 1/8 Filipino.
real quick, shout outs to Zhang's translator, because he came in quick with the correction, like, oh no, we're 19-1.
Oh yeah, just letting him know. You just got sometimes you got to flex on him.
Yeah, he let that be known, like, yeah, don't shortchange my record.
And good for Dom Cruz for pointing out that like the importance of kind of at least attempting to have that bridge over the ability. Speaking of which, easy for me to say, the ability to speak some English to at least have some sort of resonation with your audience.
Yeah, she was trying.
My favorite thing about like her Instagram is like she tries to post stuff in English. So there's just like a thing where I met Mr. Bone today, and it's just a picture of her and John Jones.
Mr. Bone or Mr. Bones?
Mr. Bone.
Because isn't Mr. Bone the principal from Doug? So now
was principal.
Oh my god.
So now I'm imagining her meeting.
Didn't he yodel?
I have to.
There was some episode about him. Forgot that he was a yodeler.
Yeah, where he went through he got like injured, and they gave him a skateboard, and he turned into like a 16-year-old again or something along those lines. Now we're reviewing Doug episodes on this thing.
Hey man, that was a great show. That was a great show.
Doug was solid.
We talked about Doug. We talked about Hey Arnold. All that's left is.
If we got Real Monsters, we could be here.
I was never into that.
Wow.
I watched it, but I wasn't.
I didn't have
just...
cable as a kid.
That might have been, not a bad thing. It is Mr. Bone. I looked it up. I'm trying to think of what Mr. Bone's capacity would be in the UFC. He'd probably be like, he'd be Burt Watson. So
he's the head of fighter.
Put your resume.
I don't think he would be a fighter. He would definitely be more of a promoter.
Yeah, put your resume on Monster.com, Mr. Bone, and you can get yourself a Vegas gig. Honestly, before we completely lose track, the only thing I would say is I think Weili Zhang gets hit a little bit too much for my liking, and she doesn't respond. Like when she gets hit, like she tends to. Because I think Tisha Torres did hurt her at one point, and I know that Danielle Taylor wobbled her at one point. So in 2 of her 3 UFC fights, I've seen her kind of stunned, I guess. And I'm cool with that. Like, I think that you need to see prospects get hurt. You need to see how they respond to getting, imagine if we could have seen how Cody Garbrandt responded to getting hurt early in his career, so we could have had a clearer picture of him. But
we're 1 fight away.
Well, we're going to get there. Well, technically, we're 2 fights back on that. But but I like Zhang a lot. There's no reason to rush her. They're talking like top 5, and I get it because she's really good. But like you've got Tatiana Suarez, and you've got
Andrade.
well, not on. Well, yeah,
Cynthia.
Andrade fighting for the title. Yeah, Cynthia Calvillo, and like there's no reason to rush this. Take some time. Take some time with her. Let her work on some stuff. There's no pressure here. You know, I know that it's MMA to like immediately shoot every prospect into like a top 5er, but I think she's good. She's good. She's really good. And Tisha Torres, I like. Woof, man. She's so apprehensive. Like I think that's a big like. I think she can win so many exchanges if she was a little bit more assertive. But she seems to almost be like. No MMA fighter is timid, so I don't want to use that term, but
Risk averse.
that's a better way to put it. Like
She's on a tough skid too. I mean, you went from Andrade to Young Jacek to Zhang. Like
Zhang and
that is a mean stretch.
what's the term I would really prefer? I think risk averse works. I think because you don't want to be like somebody scared to fight because they're fighting professionally for their like whole lives. That's absolutely not a proper term.
It's I might get blasted.
She
for
gets
this
discouraged
comparison.
quickly.
This might be completely off basis. I might get
She doesn't
blamed
wanna-
for this and thrown off the podcast forever.
I mean, you already defended Herb Dean, so you're already gone. We've already replaced you with Mr. Bone.
I don't know why this just like randomly popped in my head, but like the way she fights reminds me of like the second half of like Bendo's career. Like he seems not like his Bellator run as of his last 2 fights have been pretty good, but like I feel like he hit a stretch where like we know the talent's there, we know what he can do, but he goes in there sometimes and he just looks kind of
Flat.
yeah, like he'll have good moments, but you're just kind of spending the entire fight just waiting like, all right, when's the switch gonna flip? And it just kind of never really happens. And I feel like Torres kind of has the same problems. Now, albeit for Torres lately, I mean, going from Andrade to Young Jacek to Zhang, like that's kind of a murderer's row. I feel for you, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't encourage you to turn it up against Andrade. You find another way.
Which she did, for like the first round and a half, she was holding her own, but then Andrade was just such a storm of offense that she kind of got drowned. She got drowned like Joel Embiid apparently in a swimming pool, guys.
She's just on a really, really tough stretch. But I think you're right with Zhang. Like, as much as I do want to see her like fight for a title, this is one of those divisions that it has enough talent that you don't have to necessarily like, oh, we have to push it to the top because we have nobody else. Like, there are other names that she can fight on her way to the title that'll still give her, a tough out, so we can see more of her game, see how she responds to different situations. But
you got Courtney Casey, you got Angela Hill, you got what's the name of the woman who fought? You got Nina Ansaroff, you got
where's Carolina been? What's she been doing?
She's fighting 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
3
she
weeks?
does have a fight. Yeah, she does have a fight coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are people, there are bodies there that she can fight in and still build up towards the title shot. But good performance for her nonetheless. Yeah, like as you said, she continues probably to be China's best hope for a title shot.
Like you've got one shot probably to pop this market with a champion. You probably don't want to fuck that up.
Yeah. And when she becomes champion, you would hope she can ride that wave for a while, but I don't know. We'll see. But Lord, this next fight. Yikes.
Oh man, Stokes has to be on for this.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
It's like sitting in a meeting where they discuss like how your parents died. Like if they had Batman sitting there while they're talking about, like they got Bruce Wayne sitting there while they're talking about where the bullets entered in.
God.
Like, And then Anna
rounding
gets to be on here too, so he's gonna he's gonna
Cody.
spike this fucking football for all it's worth.
Oh my God.
rounding
Cody-
out the main card. Oh yeah, this rounding out the main card. Cody Garbrandt and Pedro Munoz. I mean, me and Anako said this on this podcast, and the times we discussed this fight, like in brief. Like Munoz winning this fight was not far-fetched at all. There was definitely a chance he could win. I didn't think it would look like this though. You know what's bad is I'm not even like a Cody fan, and I was mad at this. Like, I don't like seeing people who I think are extremely talented just kind of
Give up.
I can't even say give up.
Jesus.
They get in. They just. I don't think it was.
Jesus
I don't think he gave up.
Christ.
I think he tried too hard, actually. Like he gets in his own way, and it's like he does not know how to. It's frustrating. Just like as a fight fan in general, like I'm not a super fan of him, but just as a fight fan, I'm watching him. Like, dude, you're so much better than this. Like it's like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Like, he is the most insecure fighter since like Rumble. Like, it's astonishing how little he learns from like previous lessons. And like the worst part about it is like he seems to say all the right things. You know what I mean? Like after the first TJ loss, he's like, I'm gonna learn from this. Like almost immediately. Like he's walking there's a video of him like walking towards the back. He's like, I'm gonna learn from this, I'm gonna grow from this, I'm gonna be better. And he goes out and gets knocked out in the exact same way. And then he gives an interview earlier this week where he's like, oh, like after the first loss, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have like a GSP career where I come back and I get the win, I get my rematch, I get my win. And he was like, after the second loss, he's like, oh, I'm gonna have a DC style career where I'm gonna move up and like get a title that way, and like rebuild myself that way. And it's just like, no, like you're out here. And it's the exact same punch. Like,
What's bad is I thought he started off decent. Like, you know, he was picking his shots. He wasn't being reckless. He had his little showboating moment, which I actually don't even really mind that from him.
I think he needs that.
Yeah, like it works. And I'm like, all right, this could be a fun little, you know, kickboxing, you know, matchup. You know, we'll see if it eventually goes to the ground. You know, Pedro tried the heel hook, got out of it, and they're standing and, you know, trading. And I'm like, you know, Munoz is a decent striker. Like he's not. You can't just have disregard for his hands, as we saw. But I'm like, you know, Cody's got the speed advantage. Think his technique's a bit cleaner. Like if he just fights smart, he can win this. Like, pick your shots. You don't necessarily have to go for a kill shot. Just let it happen. Like, you have him in speed. You should be able to win this.
Entire body into a punch. You have to throw you have to take your eyes off your opponent, throw your entire body into the punch, and then eat the entirety of the other punch coming back at you.
And you know what? Like, when the ending flurry first started, I was like, you know what? I get it. All right, it's a moment. Y'all are just standing and trading. But there was a moment where Cody landed some really good like strikes in that exchange. But he landed like a couple of like clean rights. And Pedro just kind of ate him. Like, I mean, he stumbled, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm really hurt, I'm about to get knocked out. So I was like, after those first couple of hits, and then like Cody had did like that little flying knee or jumping knee, I was like, after that, you needed to back off. Because clearly he wasn't going down. Like, he could take what you were throwing at him. So, you know, do your little jump knee, go back in the center of the cage, reset. Let's do this over. Let's start over. But nope, Cody gonna Cody. He just, you know what was bad? Like he gets caught. They go in this flurry. We saw how it ended. He catches, I think it was a right to the jaw. He fell the exact same way he did in the TJ fight. Like his body motion like fell the exact same way. And if you notice, when they were throwing bombs in that last exchange, at least when Pedro is throwing and just kind of winging shots, his head is like pointed downward. He wasn't even really looking. Like he just kind of throw the overhand right, and I'm literally ducking my face down. Not Cody. Nope. Cody don't do that. Head right in the air. Right there. Just catch me. Just right on the chin. Just catch me. And it was PTSD from TJ all over again. Like, yeah, the man doesn't learn. I'm worried about him now. Like, I'm worried. Like, the next time we see Cody, you're gonna be on like a Fight Pass prelim fighting Eddie Wanlin. I don't know. Does Eddie Wanlin still fight? I don't know. like I feel like the next time we see Cody, it's gonna be sad because we're like, oh man, this was a guy who, was a champ and fighting in title fights, and now he's on like a Fight Pass prelim, fighting like some new undefeated prospect. If he doesn't like get his act together,
Man,
yikes! But great win for Pedro though. Great win
I'm
for
sorry,
Pedro.
Stoke. I'm sorry you had to sit here and hear that.
Yeah,
Very sad.
But
Very
good on
sad.
Pedro. That's a big name on your resume. He showed that he's very well rounded, and you gotta respect the hands. Yeah, I don't got nothing else. I don't got nothing else.
27-year-old or whatever. This 27-year-old or whatever that has all this athletic ability, and it almost seems like he's already peaked. Like, it doesn't seem like it's going to get better from here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes me sad, man.
That's like he has all the potential in the world. Like he's one of the best athletes in the UFC. He's got some of the quickest hands in the UFC. Like, it's all mental.
Yeah. Oof.
TJ ruined him, honestly.
Does Cody have a kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, I was hoping he need that Cerrone motivation, man.
What if Cody Garbrandt is just like, I have no nice way to. I'm trying to think of a nice way. What if Cody Garbrandt is like my.
I think Mike Perry's tougher than him.
What did you say?
I think
What
Mike
did you
Perry's
say? You cut out on my end. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said, what if Cody Garbrandt is just like fighting wise is just Mike Perry with like a community college degree?
I mean,
He beat Cruz though. He beat Cruz.
But like I've had a lot of people say that he did beat Cruz, but like Cruz, he had been training to fight Cruz for like 13 years. Like when he stepped in every team alpha male guy who steps in the gym is like, this is how you're going to be Dominic Cruz. And it's
he
like,
might be Mike Perry with a community college. Like he's Mike Perry with a community college degree, and he had a scholarship. Like
yeah, there's a good. He got a Pell Grant.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I mean,
shout out to Pell Grant.
But I mean, like Chris Weidman, like from the day Chris Weidman was about 3 fights into his career, they were already preparing him to fight Anderson Silva because they thought he could reach that level. So and Cody Garbrandt's a great fighter. Like there's a lot of things that he does really, really well, but like I said, he gets gotten to real quickly, and like when he gets hit, his survival instinct is so. Because I don't think it's a chin problem. Like everybody, like he gets rocked. Pedro Munoz hits pretty hard. Like he gets hurt, and then it's like everything goes out the window, and he has to knock them out in return. And I don't know what to say anymore. I personally I remember being on here and talking about how UFC 227 was like a cash out, and I think that they did cash out on him then. think that they cashed out on Garbrandt. I think there were some problems behind the scenes from like what I had heard, and they cashed out on him. And maybe they were right to do that. I will admit that I missed the ending of this fight because Pedro Munoz rocks Cody Garbrandt, and he goes for that fucking guillotine.
Yeah.
And I laughed so hard. Because it's like he's flopping to his Cody Garbrandt's flopping, and Munoz is desperately trying to grab his fucking neck, and I'm just like, you got your finisher move. You have to win with this.
You gotta hit the spot.
Like it's like when they botch and they run it over again.
Hey man, is it a Mortal Kombat win if you don't do your fatality?
You know what? That's true. It's just like you got him. If you drop ground and pound, you end the fight there probably. But he's like, nah, man, I gotta get this fucking guillotine real quick. It's like Tony Hawk. He's got to hit his one special to get the. He wants to complete the level, so he's got to get that one like hit off the railing and then bounce through the window kind of deal.
Yeah.
and Anti-Cool, by the way, pointed out that this was supposed to be John fucking Lineker.
God damn.
Yikes. Boy, that would have.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he might not have had a head. Like, it might have just gotten lifted off of his shoulders.
And it's like, if you created a fighter, like if you drew up a fighter for 135, it would probably look a little bit like Garbrandt in terms of skill. And because he can wrestle, he can punch. It's like, he's got really good kicks, which I think kind of have fallen by the wayside a little bit.
Oh boy.
Either cook mentally or, and again, it is worth pointing out, I think he has neck problems as well, or his back problems.
Back problems.
Those don't
Back
get any
problem.
better. Like necks, backs, and knees don't improve. So,
You definitely got a neck problem after that case.
that's rude. Stoges is right there. You should apologize to him.
I'm just saying. God, what do you?
They got like a 50K bonus. So I guess it hurts really bad, but I guess it softens the fall a little bit.
And they were talking. Dana was talking in the press conference, like they kind of know what he is, because he was like, that kid's all action, and it's like, you've officially become the action fighter. Like when you become the action fighter, that means that the big aspirations for you are kind of gone.
But I mean, if there's silver lining, the good thing about an action fighter is you'll have a job.
Oh no, Cody Garbrandt will be employed, I think.
Yeah. Guys like Cody don't go out of business.
And so that's a good way to put it. But I just this division is getting so much deeper. I don't know, like there's nowhere to hide it.
Cody was getting like his own 10-second like commercial on ESPN, like by himself. Like they were trying to hype him up. Like, it just hurts. Like, it's very. It's frustrating.
That's a good point though. You can't hide him in this division. Like it's not as deep as lightweight, but it's lightweight-esque in that even guys like outside of, your top 10, top 15, they're still pretty good. Like,
and it seems like everybody hits hard nowadays.
Right. Like this division's in kind of it's in a renaissance. Could you imagine him and Peter Yan?
Oh god.
No, thank you.
No, you know what, you gotta do it. For missing all the episodes, for missing all the podcasts, you have to. Now we're gonna book it.
God. No, I think Jan called out Munoz. I'm pretty sure I saw that on Twitter.
Power.
Hey man, I mean, good for Munoz though. This is a nice like high profile win to get people talking about you.
Yeah, this is the kind of win that Munoz gets, and then he shows up his next fight, and it's just like, are you fucking kidding me, guy?
Oh no!
I just can't. I'm thinking about it now. I cannot fucking believe he went for the guillotine. There was no angle. It was like Garbrandt was leaning on his chest, and he was trying to figure out how to snag his finishing hold.
Right, man. This business is all about branding. He has a brand to maintain.
I just can't believe it.
Next fight he'll land it.
It would be like if Paul Harris knocked somebody out and was still going for the heel hook. I like Pedro Munoz though.
You know what? They should do Cody Duquesnoy.
Fuck him.
Poor. But that's not Pedro Munoz's fault.
Oh boy. Who do you give Munoz after this? Do you do the Jan call out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I like that.
I
Cody though.
Isn't
kind
Jan
of feel
fighting?
bad for I kind of feel bad for Munoz in that case, because he just beat the former champion of the division.
Who's the guy nobody wants to fight?
Mm.
Hey man, hard knock life.
I guess
Yeah.
you could do, because like realistically, who else can he fight? I mean,
Or do you do Munoz Lineker?
that's interesting. You can't do Hoffa Sunsao because he already lost to him. Although you can run it back, I guess, if you wanted to.
I mean,
My guess is the UFC is going to be like, we just got rid of this Sunsao problem and we're not rushing it back in there.
I guess they could do Sterling.
Could
You could. I don't know. I feel like those Sterling wants. He wants the names. I feel like now. I don't know if the UFC will give them to him, but
go ahead. What were you going to say, Stoges?
I was like, how would Cody and the Sunsao play out since the Sunsao doesn't really have like that much power?
Sunsao is a lot craftier than people give him credit for.
That's not his harder than
Yeah.
than
I think a Sunsao wins a frustrating fight. Like,
If Cody's
I
just going
think
to
it's
give you his chin, I don't think you need to hit that hard.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I think it'll be another one of those fights where it's like, man, Cody could have won this, but he didn't do X, Y, X, Y. And
It'll be another
I
one
mean,
where you say that and Anti Cool just laughs about it.
it's like, I mean, if you look at a Sunsao's record, he's beaten a lot of good people. He just never got, it was like he could have won 80 fights in a row, and the UFC was never gonna try to make you care about him.
Right. I feel like Cody needs a
Very true.
It's a weird thing because like when the UFC starts paying guys a certain amount of money, they don't have an investment in rebuilding them. Like Frank Mir for a while, it was like, why is Frank Mir fighting all these name fighters? And it was because he was getting paid so much that they were like, he's a name and we're paying him a lot of money, so we're not going to give him easy matchups. Like he's going to get other high priced, high profile guys. So I know Cody makes a pretty decent amount of money. I don't know if they would be interested in rebuilding him. And I don't know who you could rebuild him with. Like, my first thought was probably Luke Saunders. But, like, can you trust him to beat a guy like Luke Saunders?
this is a coin flip.
Can Luke Saunders
Andre
trust himself?
Sukumtat, I think he could finish.
Andre Sukumtat. Yeah.
He needs to fight one of these guys.
I think Cody made.
Go ahead.
Actually,
No, I was just gonna say Cody made like 130K this fight.
I feel pretty comfortable going home to that.
But you're not going to put a dude who makes
Plus
130
50 for the.
on like a Fight Pass prelim. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say I like Cody.
Yeah.
Luke has some of the worst luck ever, and Cody,
Also has some of the worst luck ever.
yeah. So it'd be just like the Luke Barral fight, where it's like who luck runs out first. Oh man.
Jeez.
Battle of the summer schools? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, basically.
That's the sort of fight where the lights turn
Basically.
out, and when they come back on, everybody's knocked out. And you don't know who won.
But that was Munoz.
They're both knocked out, and you don't know who won.
Yeah, it's just you gotta. The referee is the winner. Herb Dean leaves as the winner,
There you go.
and then
He gets a belt. He gets a belt from it somehow.
and then Sensei comes on here and talks about how great Herb Dean is.
Yeah. I'll shoot him.
I'm surprised we didn't go. I'm surprised we didn't go in on Herb even more.
Because Sensei killed it off the bat. He was just like, I'm not mad at Herb Dean. So it's like,
I mean,
you can't be mad if Sensei's not mad.
because it was just like it was one of those. Like I understand why people were mad, but I feel like you're being disingenuous if you can't say in real time that you would have 100% known what happened in that moment. Like it was one of those that like I can't really. I'm not going. And he's caught enough punishment. I don't want to pile on the poor guy.
My only major point of contention is there is like a time gap between when Robbie Lawler's arm drops and then Herb Dean actually stops it. And I think if you have that much time, you have to have a better view of the situation.
I think Herb's problem, which he seems to get caught in a lot, is like he has like this little window where he needs to make a decision, and like his brain just kind of freezes, and then by the time he snaps back out of it, it's like, oh, I missed it. I guess I shouldn't do that.
You can't be the Cody Garbrandt of refereeing.
Yeah, can't do that. But that was Munoz Garbrandt. What a fight! What
struggling mentally with
what a fight!
I just don't know what you do with Cody, and I don't know like.
You pray for him.
You can pray for him. He's not gonna leave his gym. He's not gonna leave those guys, and like, would that even help him? Like,
he's one of those guys that I don't think the gym is the problem. The gym is not gonna fix the problem that he has. I don't know. I want him to bounce back. Like I said, I'm not like a huge Cody fan, but like he's super talented. I want the guy to bounce back.
Yeah, the division is better if he's better. Like it's just one of those situations where you want a guy to be good because it makes MMA better. So
right. So we'll see.
What was the main event prelim? I don't even remember.
Well, now that you said, moving on to the ESPN Prelims, which were headlined by the reincarnation of Mr. Abe Lincoln, Zabit, Magomed Sharapov, and Jeremy Stevens. This was a fun. I got what I wanted out of this fight. I thought it was going to be a smidgen more violent, but this was as entertaining as I hoped it would be. Boy, does Zabit just. I feel like his calves have to hurt because he just doesn't stop moving. Like he's always bouncing off of his feet and moving and just like he just never really sits still. Like he's just always bouncing around and doing something. But I wasn't surprised how this fight went because I don't know, man. Stevens is talented, but he's one of those guys. I think we've at this point in his career we kind of know what he is. It's like if he can't get you to brawl with him, or if he can't pressure you and catch you with a power shot, he doesn't really have any other. Like Jeremy doesn't go in with some like immaculate game plan. Like it's just kind of I need to get the knockout, and if I can't get the knockout, then there's no recourse. And Zabit, dude is just creativity through the roof, knows how to use his lanky frame. As we saw in this fight, a lot of footwork. Just every time Stevens was plotting forward, he's circling around, circling back, just always moving and just getting out of the way, not letting Stevens, not being a sitting target so Stevens can plant his feet and just drop a bomb on him. And then Zabit is just kind of frustrating, I'd imagine, fighting him because as much as he can do on the feet, out of nowhere, he hits you with a grapple, and he's just as good, on the ground. And you got to respect that part of his game also. That it's just like Zabit can do everything. And I posted this on Twitter. I don't think Zabit is unbeatable. I don't get that aura from him. But he just has so much in his toolbox that it's like I have to worry about everything from this guy. Like strikes are creative, coming from all kind of angles. He's jumping off cages and throwing kicks. And then if he grapples me, he has this super lanky frame. So if he gets on my back, that's a whole nother issue. He just has so much that he can throw out there. And I think just Stevens like I said, if Stevens can't really get a KO, he doesn't have some immaculate game plan really to win a decision. So Zabit just kind of needs to continue to doing what he's doing and just survive. Though I will say in this fight, I think Zabit, I worry about him going 5 rounds in a championship fight if he makes it to that. Because I do feel like in that third round, he was looking at that clock kind of early, Like we were only about a minute into the
It's like
third
with
round,
3
and he was
minutes
like,
left.
right, he's already looking up like, oh, we're still doing this. So I worry about his endurance. Like if he fights somebody that can, you know, put pressure on him and like maybe equal his output and not be so stifled by his offense, that he might have some problems fighting like the elite of that division. But I mean, still great performance from him. We fighting around. I think Stevens was ranked like number 6, something like that. Um, so still a great win against the top guy. He gave him just an over just output of offense, just very creative, and then throw that in there with the grappling. You know, Stevens just could never really get comfortable and just do anything. He never got a chance to land that power shot that he wanted.
Magomed Sharapov, to me, is kind of really inefficient as a striker because he doesn't really have much that he can do on the inside. So anytime you try to collapse the pocket on him, he will just he bolts. Like not like Alexander Gustafsson, like I'm going to straight up just run away bolt. Like he moves his feet. Well, he circles out and he takes like 5 or 6 steps. And in reality, he only really needs to take like 2 or 3. And I think that's part of the reason he gets tired so quickly. It's just he moves around so damn much. Like I think he'd be better off if he would go to the clinch more, maybe fight for the takedown a bit more. But like this was a great performance. Don't get me wrong, this is his best win to date. But part of it is just like Jeremy Stevens, while a good test, kind of has a lot of things where like, all right, he loads up on every punch he throws before he throws it. That gives a fast guy like Magomed Sharapov with a really long frame the ability to tag him and then just bounce before Stevens is can really do anything about it. I'd also like to see his next opponent throw more to his body, just because I feel like he has like one of those Moicano bodies where like he's so damn long. If you hit him there, it's just gonna hurt him. There's not much protecting that core. Yeah, I want to see him wrestle more. That's what I really want to see from him. Just as I don't like somebody like Volkanovski who is going to march him down and who is going to be difficult to take down. I just want to see him. I just want to see that he's able to beat somebody like that.
Any other
Hello?
thoughts?
Not really.
Everybody
Like,
quiet.
Great performance by Zabit. I really like him. I think, I don't know, I feel like it's pretty safe to say that he will probably fight for a title one day. Will he win it? I don't know, but I don't know. I just want to see him keep climbing up the ranks. Maybe fights, I don't know, maybe fight someone like Aldo next, or there's someone up there. Maybe not top 5, but like top 10, I guess. Did Joey leave?
Oh, is Joey
Hello?
alive? Joey. Oh, I think
Yeah, I think Joey left.
we lost Joey.
the snow got
All
something.
Yeah, he got buried. We'll
R.I.P.
we'll find a way to get him back. But yeah, I agree. Zabit, I would like to see him get. I mean, that's another division. Like there are a lot of bodies in that division, so I don't think you necessarily have to rush him to the top. But I mean, albeit from here, it's not getting easier. But yeah, I think he does have flaws in his game, but he is so well rounded that I guess up till now he can get away with it. But I do agree. I think he should use his grappling more. I think it's like deceptively good because he's so good on the feet that I think guys just think like, oh, he's just gonna strike from range, and you know, I don't think a lot of guys even think about it. Like even for me when he did that takedown against Stevens, my mind wasn't even thinking about takedowns. Like I wasn't even thinking that was something he was gonna do, and he just kind of shot in on him and got it. So, yeah, but yeah, I would like to see him against, like you said, a guy who will put pressure on him, who won't wilt so fast, to see how he responds to somebody like that, especially over the course of make it a grueling fight to see how his gas tank will hold up. Joey said his laptop crashed. He's trying to come back. He's trying to come back. But yeah, Zabit though, great performance, man. Dude continues to impress. Just very creative striking. Overall, just super well rounded. Yeah, I agree. He'll be in a title shot at some point. If he wins it, that's another story. But he's definitely gonna get there. Dude is extremely talented. This next fight, which lasted all of 36 seconds. Johnny Walker and Misha Serkinov. I mean, all that happened in this fight was Johnny came out, did a lot of movement, bouncing around. Serkinov threw a leg kick. 2 seconds later, flying knee to the face. Serkinov falls, catches the ground and pound, and then Johnny Walker does a salute, falls into the ground to do the worm, and dislocates his shoulder.
Legend. Legendary.
Like, that is the most UFC... No, that's the most MMA thing to, like, ever happen. In, like, the course of, like, a minute. It doesn't get more MMA than that. Like, a guy scores a spectacular knockout and then just injures himself. Like,
is this worse than Tony?
Oh,
I'm gonna say yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is worse. It was bad because, like, when he first fell and he was laying down, I was like, oh, he's just soaking the moment in. And then he didn't get up for, like, 20 seconds. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't tell me you really...
See, I looked away right after the knockout. And, like, I looked back and I saw the guy in the front. I'm like, oh, goddamn, I guess what's his name is really still hurt. Serkinov is really hurt. And I look closer. I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking... That's Johnny Walker. What happened to him? He just won.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I guess, 'cause I'm assuming it was just a dislocated shoulder. Not. You know, obviously, any injury sucks, but it's not a death blow. You know, I don't think because he fought like a month ago, right? I want to say the last time we saw him. He had a pretty quick turnaround. So, I don't know. Maybe with a dislocated shoulder, he's probably not going to fight again in a month from now. But like, I think he'll be okay.
Just pop it back in. You'll be good.
Yeah, pop it back in. Throw some ice on it. Maybe just work on your worm technique. I think you just hit the ground a little too hard. a little too aggressive.
Ask Scotty Too Hotty for some lessons.
Yeah. You gotta go to the OGs of the worm. let them give you some advice. But all right, so he's got wins over Enrique Da Silva, Khalil Roundtree, Ledet, and Serkinov, who was ranked. I can't remember what number, but I know he was ranked.
He was ranked 14.
All right, so who would we like to see Walker against next?
I say give him like.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure he's good. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
give him Gustafsson, man. Fuck it. fuck it. Just give him Gustafsson.
Do you just keep giving him these dudes who he is just straight up more athletic than? Because
I mean, to be honest, that's most of the division.
Yeah.
There aren't many guys up there who are probably better athletes than him.
Like, do you just hide like any potential? Like, do you just continue with like give him guys like Misha Serkinov or I don't know, like a Jimmy Manua or somebody who he can probably get out there really quick, get him a title shot, and just bank on him being a good fighter. Like
that would suck, man. If like he does, you know, his next like 2 fights, he just keeps flatlining guys, gets to a fight with like John Jones, if you know Jones is still there, and then he just like lays a complete egg, like like he goes in there just look like he has no business even being in the same arena. But yeah, it's weird though, because like I said, we don't know what Johnny Walker is.
Like this just doesn't show like being a really good athlete in this division is like a cheat code. Because Walker's just out here exploiting the fact that everybody else is just super slow. Like that Misha Serkinov front kick, I'm going to step in and grab the clinch maneuver that he was going for right before Walker just decided that the fight was going to be over. Like, he's barely Yoel Romero. Like, he sees the fight in slow motion. He's able to react, but that's in large part because the guys he's fighting are just really slow.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the rankings on my phone.
Go over to Shara.
No, I don't want to see old guys get.
He might, like, he could go in there and realistically probably do the same thing to Volkan Oezdemir.
Well, Vulcan's got he's got Reyes next.
Yeah, like
how about Latifi? What's Latifi doing?
I don't think he has a fight lined up.
Yeah.
He's coming off that loss to Corey, I think.
Corey would be a good one.
Like, yeah, but like, do you really want to risk the exciting Brazilian against Corey Anderson?
Yeah,
exactly.
And loses a 3-round decision where he just got leaned on. I don't know. I think he could put Corey away though. I'm pretty confident he could take that fight. It would suck if he's one of those guys that like completely gasses after the first round. And like like he just relies on all of this like athletic freakishness, and that disappears after the first round, and then he just sits there.
Because that's how these things go. I'm going to say he is that guy.
Oh man, this it's weird. Yeah, I'm interested to see who they match him up. To be honest, I would not be mad at the Gus match. After what Gus did against Jones, Gus put a bad taste in my mouth, and
right.
I'm not happy with Gus.
Oh, boy.
I'm not happy with Gus at all. I don't know. We'll see though. Like Johnny Walker is just gonna remain a mystery because we know the dude obviously hits hard. He's freakishly athletic, but yeah, we still don't know what he is. But he keeps winning, and at this point, that's all that matters. So
it's crazy how short it takes for you to make like a name for yourself at like a light heavyweight. Because like Volkan came in and got a title shot in like less than a year. Anthony Smith comes in, just blitzes through what's left of the division in like 8 months and gets a title shot. Thiago Santos is about to get a title shot, and he's only been in the division since like August. I like friggin' Johnny Walker might have a title shot by the end of the summer.
I mean, and John Jones did say he wants to be active this year, like he wants to fight more. So I don't know. We could potentially see like jump.
I think Dana said in the press conference. It's gonna be Jones and Thiago Santos.
Yep. See, that's worth $60.
I mean, to be honest, like, these next 3 fights kind of line themselves up. Like, you got Jones Santos. If Reyes gets past Uzdemir, you pretty much bank that for a title shot, I would guess. And depending on what Walker's doing in that meantime, he'll probably be next up to bat.
Yep. Jones might actually clear out the light heavyweight division, the real meaning of the word.
No, both times Johnny Walker has won by knockout. I have drank Johnny Walker whiskey the same night, so I'm just gonna keep doing it till he loses, just to see if it's good luck or not.
Oh boy.
He's gonna ride me drinking Johnny Walker whiskey into a title shot.
You hope. Take extra sips if he goes to a second round.
Give that man a sponsor, man. God damn. I know he's Brazilian, but Johnny Walker is like Scottish whiskey or whatever, but give him a sponsor.
You have to follow him on Instagram first.
Oh yeah, huh?
Oh boy. But yeah, good win for Johnny Walker, just continuing to do Johnny Walker things. And we'll just see how.
Like Johnny Walker. I was just saying, someone in UFC, UFC PR needs to like set that up. Johnny Walker the fighter and Johnny Walker whiskey. Like someone needs to make that happen. It's too perfect.
I don't know. He keeps flying kneeing people. You know, we'll see. But so yeah, Johnny Walker flying knee KO, got Serkinov out of there in a little over 30 seconds. This next fight I actually didn't get a chance to rewatch. I don't remember it all in a ton of like specific detail, but Cody Stamann versus Alejandro Perez. All I remember thinking was Perez hits hard, but I feel like he's not throwing enough. And Stamann's just being a bit more active, and he has wrestling, so he might win, and he won.
Yeah.
But I don't remember much else of this fight.
Alejandro Perez threw Cody Stamann onto his head in the third round. Like, literally picked him up and DC Barnetted him. But other than that, it was, I don't know. It wasn't a bad fight. It was just a fight, yeah. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, there's nothing else to see here. We can move on from that one. But Stamann won unanimous decision.
No love for Cody Stamann.
I mean, like was there really it was a solid performance from Stamann. So
he's in that
yeah.
He's in that batch of bantamweights that are like good, but they gotta. I feel like bantamweight has a batch of guys who are good. They're solid, but they're not like they don't really wow you.
They're not.
But they're just like
they're not gonna make it to the top.
Yeah, like he'll probably be like a mid-tier guy. You throw him in there, he's gonna give you a solid performance night in, night out. But I don't know, like about him like making like a title run or anything crazy. But he'll just be one of those guys that probably always stays around because he has a good skill set. He's athletic, decent striking, and he can wrestle. So he'll probably just be around for a while. But solid performance. I don't want to shame the guy. I just don't honestly remember much of the fight in detail. But solid performance. Next fight, rounding out the ESPN Prelims.
This problem where
what were you gonna say?
Perez just didn't do enough to he just got outworked.
Yeah. And speaking of getting outworked, last fight on the ESPN Prelims, Diego Sanchez, Mickey Gall. Mickey came out with his Joe Schilling trained kickboxing, and then that ran out, and then Sanchez just kind of, he kicked another young guy off the lawn, so to speak. Yeah, I think Go ahead.
All respect in the world to Joe Schilling because he's out here. He's been out here waving the flag for American kickboxing and Muay Thai for ever now, but he is not the dude I want to learn kickboxing from.
I mean, it started off
Much
good.
of
He
his
was landing some good shots. Like, he came out pretty aggressive. I think this fight did just show how green Mickey Gall is, though. Like, I think this might have been the first time he fought a guy who, he's not really just gonna go away. Like, you're not just gonna come in, catch me with a 2-piece, and think it's over.
yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't one of those fights, buddy.
Mi-
We all know how crazy Diego is. That's not enough.
Mickey tweeted after the fight that he passed out during his weight cut, or something like that.
Yeah. Shouts to his team for letting him fight after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. I mean, that makes sense. That would explain because the drop off between like the first and second, like he looked winded out there, man.
He was
He was pretty much on fumes for the second half of that fight and up until the finish. Like
He's not a small. Hello?
Yeah.
No. He's not a small dude.
Mm-mm.
Like he's a 6'2" welterweight. And he's what now, 27?
Yeah, and he looks like, I don't know if it was just me. He looked like he's gotten bigger to me.
Probably.
Like he's put on a little bit of mass.
He's still filling out. Yeah, like, and I don't remember who tweeted this. But like someone pointed this out and they were right. Like if Mickey Gall had not got called up to the UFC for the specific purpose of fighting CM Punk, he'd probably be somewhere like 10-11-0 right now, or 11-1 or whatever, fighting on some regional scene. And he'd actually have like real cage experience, as opposed to fighting like Mike. Four fights, and then being tasked with a real prospect like Randy Brown. I don't like. This is why you go slow with these dudes. Like, fighting takes a long ass time to learn, and for all of Diego Sanchez's faults, this is a guy who beat Marcin Held like 2.5 years ago, who's a astronomically better fighter than anybody Mickey Gall has beaten or like even stepped in the cage with before Diego. This is why you don't go to the UFC with like one fight on your record. You need experience, like real experience. And Gall could have been like a really good fighter. But I hope it was worth it.
Yeah. Diego just kind of took a soul. I mean, just to paint the picture of the fight, because we didn't even really mention what much happened in it. Like once Gall couldn't put him out with his striking, like Diego worked his wrestling, got him down, just beat him up and tired him out, and eventually in the second round, got a finish, and that was his first finish. They said since like I forgot. It's been a long time. I can't remember. Yeah. It was a long time.
Christ, man.
Like God, like
I was in high school, bro. Holy fuck.
I say 2008. I was fresh out of high school going to. Oh no, I was in college. Or that was like my first year of college. But Jesus, yeah, he. I mean, props to Diego though. Like the man's like 80 years old in combat years, and he's like he's still out here. Like. Turning the young guys away. But man, yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Just props to Diego. Yeah, and you hope for Gall, like, whatever his next fight, you know, albeit, you know, it's the UFC, there aren't a lot of pick'em fights, but maybe not give him somebody who has, like, 4 times the experience that he has. Probably not the best, probably not the best course of action. But either way, Diego Sanchez, he got that W. And then moving on to the Fight Pass prelims, Edmund Shabazian versus Charles Byrd.
Glendale Fight Club forever. Let's go.
This fight did not last that long. They stood and, you know, traded for a little bit. Byrd shoots in for a takedown and proceeds to eat 80 Travis Brown elbows to the side of the head and the ear. Drops, eats ground and pound. Good night. That was it. That was the beginning and end of that.
Edmund Severity now has a fighter who's 2-0 in the UFC.
Oh my God, he's just looking at money. He's looking at money signs right now.
I wonder, like, did he secretly? Because I feel like I just haven't heard his name in a while. Like, did he secretly just bring in some other coaches?
Well, no, he just stopped doing media.
Oh. No, so
But yeah, like because people kept asking him about his bankruptcy case and about Ronda Rousey, so he just stopped freaking doing media. Like, I mean, remind you, this Ronda Rousey's shoulders being like, yeah, I'd be Jose Aldo.
Doesn't this guy get managed by Ronda too, or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that?
We'll see how that goes. We will see how that
I mean, she's about to retire from wrestling, so she's have all the time in the world.
I mean, she, you know, someone who does know the business. But it's just for Shabazian's case, it's like, man, have you seen what Edmund does to fighters? Don't.
Well, that and like, so apparently Ronda Rousey was incredibly easy to deal with because she would take whatever offer the UFC gave her, because I guess she was like, oh, that's a lot of money, not realizing that, you know, that's a starting negotiation place. So she's always been like really easy to work with from a managerial standpoint. So I'm wondering how that works for when you're the you know what I mean? Like, is she gonna fight for you to have more money, like for better spots on the card, you know, better matchmaking, or is she just gonna be like, yeah, no, that works?
You're like, Edmund, that's $15,000. You better. Oh no!
Oh my God!
Oh, no. I would like to think. I don't know. It's weird because like a lot of fighters aren't always the best at like transitioning to other roles. Like, you being a great fighter doesn't necessarily mean like you'll be a great manager, or like in basketball, like you can be a great player doesn't mean you'll be a great coach. So I don't know. That's weird, but I mean, at best, at least, you know, she is somebody who was in the business and was like the face of the sport for her moment in time. So I don't know. Hopefully she can impart some kind of wisdom on him. But Edmund, if you can hear us, if you're somehow listening to this, you know, get the bag.
It is.
Don't try to get the bag.
Because that's what she's doing nowadays.
I don't know. But for now, you know, Edmund's doing pretty good for himself. Solid win. We'll see how he does at middleweight, because middleweight's just it's one of those really interesting divisions. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But either way, he landed some very violent elbows, and he got the win. So shout outs to Edmund Shabazian. Moving on down, another fight I was actually really looking forward to. Macy Chiasson, or they said Chiasson on the broadcast. I don't know how it's said now. They confused me. Versus Gina Mazzani. I was worried that this weight cut would be too much because Chiasson is just she's like 5'11". She was a pretty big featherweight. I was like, man, her cutting the bantamweight, man. I don't know how that's gonna look. But yeah, she looked good. Don't look like the weight cut was an issue at all. Looked every bit as good as she did at featherweight. I just like that, like in that ending combination, she just kept throwing. Like it was like an 8-punch combination, and just didn't stop until Gina fell over. I was like, that's the kind of violence that bantamweight needs, because boy, has this division been stale. Like outside of like the top 3, there has not been anything to talk about at women's bantamweight. So anybody who can do anything at this point, I am happy for. So bless Macy. Thank you for giving women's bantamweight some violence, because we need it. They need it.
See, I think she does look a little bit slower, but like the power just makes up for it. Because she could crack at 145, she can crack at 135. What I really liked about that finishing sequence, like, and she probably didn't need to do it because Gina Mazzani not that. But as she was flurrying, she stepped to the outside of Mazzani's lead foot to cut off her escape route, and to put her head off center for anything that was coming back, which was really cool. This is like a small thing where, like, okay, she knows what she's doing, like from a technical standpoint. I really like that. Yeah, no, I hope the weight cut's not too much for her, because like bantamweight needs prospects. It needs all the help it can get.
I mean, featherweight is basically purgatory, so.
Megan Anderson's out here just, tweeting about how upset she is that all these other women are dropping down.
And Megan, she probably can't make 130. She's huge,
she is
man.
6 foot tall.
Yeah, she's not making 35. She would look like death on the scale. But, yeah. Macy went in, put pause on. Oh, Joey wanted us to let everybody know that he died. He's having Skype problems, so Skype problems, and he died. So,
that's a deadly combination.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Joey. We'll resurrect him in a later episode. And the last fight, which I'll just have to rely on you two and hope you guys watched it, because I saw it once, but I didn't rewatch it.
I didn't see this fight or the Macy fight.
Hannah Cyphers and Poliana Viana. Have at it.
I mean, it was a competitive fight. Viana Jiu-Jitsu for the division, or at least was taller than Cyphers, was able to tag her at range with kicks and straight punches, but Cyphers was doing real good with the leg kick and the overhand right. Actually dropped Viana in the first round. Kind of surprised that it was a split decision. Like, I know some people had it for 29-28 for Viana, but like I thought Cyphers did enough to win. Yeah, it was a nice little fight. It wasn't anything crazy. Like, if you know anything about Cyphers, you know she can crack. I'd like to see Viana wrestle more, because her only way to get the fight to the ground was to pull guard, which was, not what you want to do in 2019 in MMA if you're a grappler. But yeah, no, fun fight, all right fight.
I just remember thinking her arms were really short.
Who, Viana? Or Cyphers?
No,
yeah.
Cyphers.
Oh,
has very little.
I do have something to say about like the post-fight interview, because like the Macy Chiasson and the Edmund Shabazian fights went so short. They had to interview Cyphers, and she looked like she was about to have an anxiety attack on camera.
Cue the Stone Cold music.
Actually, no, I don't even. I'm not.
Joey resurrected.
What a fucking catastrophe.
Joey's been resurrected.
You can't kill me yet. Stokes can try, but I'm still standing.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best.
Crashed, and then Skype didn't want to open, so I had to reinstall it twice, and then finally it opened. And the entire time, Sensei's like, "Yeah, we're just gonna wrap up without you," and I'm like, "No, can't do that." I have things to say. I have points to make.
All of the listeners appreciate your dedication to the podcast.
No, they don't. No. They absolutely do not want me on this.
I don't remember what fight you disappeared during,
I had a
but
point about to beat Jeremy Stevens and it crashed.
Jesus, that was like 8 fights
like 30 minutes ago.
We literally just got done with Cypress Piano.
Oh, so you mean the start of the card?
Yeah. Hey,
well, what are you...
We'll reopen the discussion.
Yeah. Well, we'll rewind. What are your scathing takes for Zabit and Stevens?
Talking about. So let's say that out the gate. Let's get that out the gate.
How dare you? How dare you?
2-0 in the UFC right now.
Excuse me?
Edmund Tarverdyan has a fighter that is 2-0 in the UFC right now.
Yeah, and how did they get there? They had to have him fight the guy who he lost to the guy before. Like he lost Darren Stewart, and then they brought him back to fight this guy. Like, come on now.
Oh no, he beat Darren Stewart.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. That's the best type of win.
You know what? As we learned on this main card, alleged wins are as good as legitimate wins. So yeah. What do you guys want to spend 13 minutes on Hannah Cyphers? Like, come on now. Hannah Cyphers doesn't want to talk about Hannah Cyphers for 13 minutes.
We're just talking about her interview.
They need to stop that. They need to keep her away from any sort of any. I told you guys this though. Like, she was on Titan FC, and when she would win her fights, like, someone would have to go into the cage to, like, translate her like she was from another country.
Now I'm curious, because I didn't watch her post-fight. I have to go back and see this now.
No, it is so awkward, and you feel so bad for her.
Yeah, like, she's very honest.
She
doesn't want to do media, and they're just like, it was just, like, this poor woman.
It's not even like that she doesn't want to do it. It's just that she's terrified to do it.
Yeah, like, well, I'm saying, like, remember, Titan FC cards are, like, 37 dudes, and, like, half of them are from the same gym. And she was, like, horrified to speak in public. After fights. Like, she would melt people, and then they would put the mic in front of her face, and she was shaking like a leaf on a tree, because I can't think of anything nice to say. So, but she's a really good fighter. She's a really good strawweight. Stop making her talk. You're hurting her. You're hurting me. Yeah. Did you guys talk about Macy? I'm assuming you did talk about Macy Chiasson.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. Just the only thing I want to say about that is that I'm uncomfortable watching that fight. I'm uncomfortable watching her fight because she's so much bigger than everybody at 135. That Mazzani fight, I was like, I don't want to see this. But, like, she's the best prospect at 135 right now.
She's like the only.
You know what though? Listen, I didn't fucking fight through 37 minutes of Skype bullshit just to have you trample on my one point about one fight. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that, and we're not doing it. I will file a complaint with the commission.
All right, Joey. Can we get your thoughts on Magomed Sharapov and Stevens and I guess Johnny Walker?
Oh, you don't want me to talk about Mickey Gall and Diego Sanchez either? How dare you?
I mean, I forgot that fight happened, to be honest with you.
Perfect. Jeremy Stevens and Magomed Sharapov. I wonder. I think we kind of talked about this a little bit though. Like, he's always going to be compared to. But I wonder if he could tone down half of his offense and commit more to the jab, if that would save a lot of his late round problems.
Probably.
Because he has a really strong jab.
I mean, it doesn't help when you're jumping off the top of the cage to do a kick to conserve energy.
That was
I
entertaining.
forgot about that totally.
And then there was something else I wanted to mention. I don't remember. Perfect. Oh, just that I have not seen him fight like. Okay, Magomed shit. Now I'm all fired up because I've been waiting for the hot tag for like 10 minutes now. Magomed Sharapov, like, I wonder. First, I want to see him fight a better athlete because I think that athletically speaking, he's so much better than a lot of these dudes that I need to see him fight somebody with remotely the same kind of athletic pedigree. Because otherwise, it's just a big, tall, lanky guy who can do whatever he wants, and there's no consequence. He's not getting hit hard enough, even though these guys are just too slow for him. He's out of range before they can even get near him. And two, he wrestles to like his striking is really just a fancy way to get to his wrestling and his grappling. Like that's his bread and butter, really. All of his major wins are by submission, and I feel like in the third round you finally got to see a little bit of a what happens if he can't wrestle, because he could not get Stevens down for anything. And I think that when you work that kind of style, if you move that much and you do tire yourself out, if you don't have the threat of the takedown, it completely nullifies the remnants of your game. So I kind of need to see him fight somebody with really, really... Like Volkanovski, I think, would be a great test, although I think Volkanovski and Aldo are going to fight. But Volkanovski can give him the kind of problems that I think we need to see him solve before I'm, like, all in. I don't know if you felt that way, Anna Cole, because I literally cut out mid, like... you're going to give us one of those, like, big-time dissertations on... and crashed.
No, you said everything. It was basically the same thing you just said. Like, I need to see him fight somebody who is going to test him athletically. Like, who I would hope would hit him to the body where, you know, he is... There's just so much real estate. Like a Hanada Moicano. And you know the weight cut is killer. Like,
It would have to be.
Yeah. Like, so, like, slow him down that way. And Volkanovski was a dude I wanted to see him fight, too.
Right. And we need to be fair, like, because I did hear you say this was a great performance. Like, this was a really, really, really good performance. But there are critiques within, like, it's not a perfect performance. And pretty soon he's going to be fighting guys who aren't, no disrespect to Jeremy Stephens, but aren't as limited as Jeremy Stephens. So you have to grade him on that curve where the critiques matter, where that little mistake that he makes against Jeremy Stephens, Jose Aldo will pick up on. Sending to these levels, we need to start being really accurate about what he can and cannot do. So, because whenever you critique a prospect, there's always that backfire from people who, well, he's perfect, or like, oh yeah, well, you know, like this guy makes that mistake or that guy makes that mistake. We're not grading him compared to those guys. We're grading him compared to who he's supposed to be fighting in the future. So if you want to be fair and accurate about a prospect, you have to look at him and say, can he do that against Jose Aldo? Or can he do that against John Jones if you're looking at a light heavyweight? And so on and so forth. You guys kind of get what I'm saying there, right?
Yeah.
Just so that the Sharapov Bizarro fans don't come after anybody.
I mean, like, there's a dude who was introduced to most of us through that Fox Sports article where Mark Henry's like, yeah, no, he's a top 5 fighter.
Yeah.
Like,
and look, he could be. Like, I see amazing. Like, he could be. I think he could be a title contender. But there, these little holes in his game, they get exposed against bigger people. Yair Caceres, they get exposed when you move up in class, as it did, i.e., Frankie Edgar. So yeah, I'm a little leery about some of his skills, but overall I'm impressed. But those little mistakes can be big mistakes against big competition. And what was it, Johnny Walker?
yes.
I like what's there to say? It was 30 seconds long. Like, he's
Any comments on the worm?
I think you can retire the worm. Having said that,
UFC is definitely gonna make him retire the worm.
Like, the worm, look, first off, Scotty, if you're going to compare yourself, like, Scotty Too Hotty was like a mid-carder. Like, you don't want to be a mid-carder. So you can retire the worm because Scotty Too Hotty never made it anywhere.
Damn.
Just the disrespect.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
One of the greatest tag teams of all time. How dare
Scotty
you?
Too Hotty was one of the greatest tag teams of all time. He's one guy. Get a Grandmaster Sexay and he wants to get a Rikishi, then fine. But who would be Rikishi? Derek Lewis?
Nah, I don't. Nah.
I was gonna say Tai Tuivasa. Mark Hunt.
Oh.
No, I think Ty's are better. I could see Ty.
The point is, Scotty Too Hotty was never that good to begin with. I'm sticking by that. I stand by my statement. You know.
Why are we taking shots?
I like Scotty Too Hotty. First
here?
off, Scotty Too Hotty I think is a fireman. I have no disrespect for him. I'm just saying.
I'm on the phone.
So what like yeah.
Shout out to Scotty Too Hotty.
Oh my god, we're defending Scotty Too Hotty now.
Yes, we are. How dare you?
Oh my god, Scotty Too Hotty.
I,
I'm all worked up
Oh,
about
man.
Scotty Too Hotty. Right? First off, Anti Cool disrespects the big boss man. Now you're trying to put over Scotty Too Hotty. Like, I don't like this at
The
all.
big boss man. Oh, the big boss man.
Honestly, if we're gonna actually talk about the fight, Misha Serkunov was a #1 contender type once.
yeah.
Like if we're being realistic, like Misha Serkunov was some people's Johnny Walker. Like that was the prospect that they thought was gonna like ascend. And it's pretty crazy to think how 205 has advanced from Misha Serkunov and Nikita Krylov being like, you know, this fight could determine a top 5 guy to Johnny Walker and the Polish dude from the other night and some of these Russian and European like light heavyweights who are dominating the scene. So,
Well, last thing before we wrap up, because I think we're well over the allotted.
well, you know what? Like
there's
that's
no-
partially
there's no
on.
allotted
Well, what
time.
time are we at? How long has this?
To be honest, I don't know because we had a cutout in the middle, and I think we were at like 30 minutes before it cut out. I don't know. I feel like we're somewhere.
I feel like it's not. I'm not on here unless it's 4 hours, so it's got to be.
But I was gonna say, what are your? I don't know how to say this. To wrap up Johnny Walker, what do you think Johnny Walker looks like in the second round? Because that was something we talked about when you left. Like, what does the second round Johnny Walker look like?
I kind of hope we never find out. Like I'm kind of enjoying this ride we have right now. I'm enjoying this little like. I'm enjoying fresh air at 205. Like Johnny Walker, you know, Thiago Santos. Like there's some fresh air in this stagnant, stale fart division. And you know what? Like I think Johnny Walker will be fine. It's not like he's got a super muscly frame. Like he's got a pretty he's a lanky kind of dude, no?
Yeah.
So I think
I'm just afraid that like his athleticism and those like crazy freak shots will just disappear in the second round. Like he gets too tired, he just throws those too much,
it's certainly.
and then he just sits there.
Cummings or like I think Johnny Walker on Johnny Walker is probably still pretty athletic relative to half of this division. Like
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, his athleticism will probably carry him. His athleticism at bare minimum will probably get him to a title shot, because he's just gonna be, he's gonna be too explosive for.
Yeah, like
I don't even want to throw this out in the atmosphere, but could you imagine like Johnny Walker and Sam Alvey?
That's what I'm saying. Like you could fill Johnny Walker with Popeyes and send him immediately out to fight, and I think he'd still have more bounce and like. Unless he gets into one of those weird grinding exchanges with like Patrick Cummins, I think that his athleticism will be fine. Not his athleticism, but his cardio. Like even if he gets tired, everybody in this division gets tired quickly. It is the what did we say this one was? Because Tough Dads is middleweight and then Senior Citizen is heavyweight, so this is like midlife.
Oh yeah, this
midlife
is like,
crisis.
Yeah, this is the midlife crisis division.
This is like leather jacket and new car division. So Johnny Walker will be all right.
All right.
And
So,
nothing for. Did anybody say anything remotely interesting about Diego Sanchez Miguel?
that he just kicks young people off the lawn, and he continues to do so.
Anything about
Mickey Gall.
the weight?
Oh, Andy Cole said he would not train under Joe Schilling.
Oh, okay, so you took them to task for that.
Well, I was just like Joe Schilling's not the dude I would go to if I wanted to be an MMA striker. You know what I mean?
No, I thought you were talking about the fact that he passed out during his weight cut.
Oh yeah,
we talked about
we
that
talked
too.
about that too.
Yeah, we talked about that
fuck
too.
that.
Yeah.
Like that's when you call it a day.
Yeah. But
And did we get the standard anti-cool? What are you middleweights doing? Not going up in weight? Chit chat.
No, I'm too tired.
No, we actually did.
I don't want to see Chris Weidman get fucking flying kneed by Johnny Walker.
But, I mean, you already saw it. You already saw him get flying kneed.
Now I want to see Johnny Walker and Yoel Romero exchange flying knees. That'd be fun.
No, don't do that to me. I came back to this podcast, and that's the first thing you give me.
Yes.
Like my uncle against my distant cousin. Like, you can't do that.
Hey man, family fight sometime, you know. It's all love at the end of the day still.
On a reality show right now. And Jesus
man. But
Romero won.
there you go.
I had to get Yoel Romero in here, and I have to. Who's the other guy I always mention when we're on here?
Brett Primus.
Nah, we left Brett Primus alone.
Thing is not me. That's not my bit.
Yeah, no, we let Brett live. We left him
Brett
alone.
Primus and Chicano John are not my bits. That's other people's bits. I'm not a material stealer.
Oh boy, Brent was a running joke on here for a long time.
I feel like we could get him on the podcast.
Apparently, we need to get fucking Scotty Too Hotty on the podcast because everybody's a big fan of his.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, he was great. What are you talking about, man?
I don't hate Scotty Too Hotty, but come on, let's be fair now. If you're gonna steal somebody's bit,
he's like the Diego Sanchez of WWE.
Wow, you know what?
Does he still wrestle?
You're a fighter now.
See, all I remember is I used to play SmackDown, and I always show Sky Too Hotty because I love this finisher.
Oh, man, I love that finisher. Amazing. Does no damage at all, but it's amazing.
My skin is crawling off.
I used to be able to do that.
No different than The Rock's. Let's be real.
Well, I think there's a gap in talent between the two.
Is there?
I don't think Scotty Too Hotty could be the Scorpion King. Now I'm gonna imagine
the Scorpion King shouldn't have been the Scorpion.
How fucking dare you? I don't see Scotty Too Hotty showing up at somebody's funeral to strap their dad's casket to a Blues Brothers mobile, and then drive off with it. I don't think Sensei's seen that. We might need to link him up.
What is
Have you seen the Big Boss Man ride off with Big Show's actual dead father?
If I have, I don't remember.
It's coming your way. It's going to be in your inbox by the end.
Oh my god.
As soon as this
Father apparently was dead. That's the messed up part.
Well, no, to be fair, now we're going to do some wrestling talk here. To be fair, I think Big Show's dad died 5 months before that. And so it was we'll just do an angle out of it. So there's not his actual dad. There's not an actual human being in the cast.
I don't think that. Well, yeah, but I don't think that makes it better.
It makes it much better. It's look, his dad didn't object. He was cool with it.
What were we watching back then?
It hasn't changed. We're how many months removed from Dean Ambrose saying freaking Roman Reigns deserved?
Oh boy.
Listen. I don't want to live in a wrestling world where we can't bring dead people into angles. Okay? They knew what they signed up for.
I mean, if I was a wrestler and I died, I want my however I died, I wanted used in an angle.
Yeah.
I thought Mae Young was gonna die when they slammed her through those
Oh
tables.
my god.
Now we're talking about Mae Young. I'm just thinking about it I was gonna make a joke, but it's not worth making. I think Mae Young is dead, so I can't make the joke. I was gonna say, do you think she's as athletic as a 135er these days? But I think Mae Young is in fact dead. So Poor Mae Young.
Well, all right. That's a cue to wrap up.
Oh, we just get started. We talking about Mae Young.
I took it too far.
You know what? No, you know what? You stand for Herb Dean. You got to go on your shield, and Mae Young's a good way to go out on your shield.
Oh boy.
Did anything else happen? Did you guys cover anything news-wise, newsy? Was there anything newsy in MMA?
Matt Hughes, domestic violence, Cro Cop retiring because of strokes, and
Okay, Cro
PFL
Cop.
being on ESPN,
Yeah, Cro
having a
Cop.
monopoly on Thursday nights. I think that's about it.
I don't think PFL has a monopoly on anything besides wasting money.
Hey,
I think that's.
PFL owns Thursday. PFL is Thursday.
So no,
night.
hold on. I pitched this to Amical. He never responded to it because he's a coward. But the rest, since you're on air, we can cover this. If you had to invest $5 million in a TV in either one or PFL, where would you go?
One all day. What are you talking about?
Amical.
PFL because they have all the American fighters.
Can't duck it now. You can't duck the question now. I got you on the air.
Oh, you said $5
Yeah,
million?
$5 million. That's what they're paying. They're paying $5 million over 2 years.
Wait, am I ownership or am I just like TV partner?
You are pick your network name, and the head of your network comes in. He's like, we gotta get MMA. We gotta get those 55-year-olds in here, and so he approaches you and he says, "Here's $5 million. Go bid on the company. Go get us some TV rights. It's one or PFL."
I'm
All right.
I'm doing one solely because of Sage Northcutt.
I'm doing. See, I'm doing PFL because it'd be live, and we have Kayla Harrison, who's probably on the cheap.
Yeah, one is broadcasting at 4:30 a.m. So
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Now,
I'll take the international. I'll take the international money. I'll take the international.
Conversely,
ratings.
one is broadcasting at like 4 a.m., but I think they did better ratings at 4 a.m. than PFL did primetime.
I mean, that's just because everybody left their TV on after TNT, like after was it NBA on TNT?
It's possible.
They're right.
All those,
They just never
or it could have
changed.
been all those boomers falling asleep during the episode of The Mentalists.
Oh my god.
They woke up at 5:30. What is
But
this?
this isn't my rerun of Burn Notice.
Burn notice.
I woke up. Agnes, where's the reruns for the Squatty Potty?
Oh god.
These aren't my infomercials. How am I gonna buy an air fryer?
Jesus. All right. On that note,
We didn't even do parting shots and shout outs. Shout out to Scotty Too Hotty. Apparently you got a bunch of fucking fans on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. Parting shots and shout outs. So yeah, I guess shout out to Herb Dean. Shout out to Scotty Too Hotty. Shout outs to Mae Young.
To the Squatty Potty. To Mr. Bone.
Mr. Bone. Oh my god.
Definitely shout out to Mr.
Someone
Bone.
needs to Photoshop Jones out of that picture and put Mr. Bone in there.
Oh man, but no, my one like actual my one actual shout outs to Antoinette Tony Harris. She is going to be the first woman to land Division I football scholarship for a skill position. For those who don't follow football, a skill position basically means anything not a kicker. Like a position that actually matters.
Wow,
I mean, kickers
okay. Now we hate kickers. Scotty Too Hotty, okay. But
Hey,
kickers no good.
Adam Vinatieri won Brady 3 Super Bowls. How
That
dare
is
you?
true.
How
That
dare
is
you?
true.
How
All
dare
right,
you?
kickers matter, but
Kickers are
nobody
athletes.
nobody tunes into Sunday nights like, man, I gotta see that kicker number 2.
If you took your average kicker and put him in there with like Sam Alvey, kicker's taking it. I'm staking my claim.
Wasn't that New York Giants kicker like pretty yoked out?
I don't know. I don't keep up on kickers.
Ooh. Well, I'm just saying Sebastian
But,
Janikowski is a house, and he would have zero problems taking out half this heavyweight division.
But Antoinette Harris, she got a D1 scholarship. She plays safety, and she'll be playing at Central Methodist University. So shout out to her, first woman to get a D1 scholarship at a skill position. And like we already mentioned it earlier, but shout outs to Cro Cop.
Yes.
Just that's a you hate to just see stuff like that. Like that just kind of sucks for that to be the way your career has to end because of health reasons, especially something as serious as a stroke. But shout out to him, man. Hopefully he's able to recover and be well. And I appreciate you head kicking Alexander Emelianenko. Every now and again, I just go back on YouTube and I just look that up, and it just
Oh
makes
man,
me
you're
laugh.
right. You okay?
That's the noise Alexander made after he got head kicked. I imagine that's what it sounded like when
You
he
know what?
fell.
That's unnecessary. Unnecessary. Stokes is dying and we used him for a bit gag. Stokes, you okay? You need water?
Oh, I'm good. Just smoking too much weed.
Okay, well that's not good either. What a mess this has.
This has
what a
been-
mess.
This podcast has been crazy.
420
mess.
Blazer.
No, none of that. None of that. Get out of here.
But yeah, that's all I got.
What is your medical illness that you need to do such things?
My head hurts.
Life.
Besides asthma, apparently.
Life.
Over there
Life.
wheezing like a Pokemon. Get out of here.
Oh, man. Is weed legal where you guys live?
Where do you guys live?
Yeah, medically, but only in like 7 dispensaries across the entire state.
No.
I think that's the
Oh,
same
that's-
for us too. I think it is medically because I think we have a dispensary like down the street from me.
You would not know. You would know. You would know.
I would not know, honestly. I actually don't know. Couldn't tell
You
you.
tell me you don't do your duties as an American citizen and vote every 2 years on the ballot. You wouldn't know
I
if it
would.
was on the ballot
I
or
don't
not.
remember.
I would.
I put the ballot in and then I wash my hands because I feel really dirty and then I just forget what I did.
PA is different. So
And it's also worth remembering that PA is kind of like California in that I think of California as just being like one big long either LA or Compton. And Stokes is like, no, there's mountains here.
I maybe thought Compton, but not like San Francisco.
Well, I could do San. Well, oh man, now I'm gonna have to send you the San Francisco clip. So now you're getting a whole bunch of wrestling links coming your way, buddy.
I'm telling you, you and me probably live like in the same rural area. I guarantee
really
you.
do think we do because I'm like 20 minutes away from Amish men. So
Really? Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like 2 minutes away from like try to get California separated from the north to the south.
oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like my neighbors literally have a sign of it like down the road.
I actually know a few people who want that. So that's
The state of Jefferson. Like I could see it.
Jesus.
Oh, fuck.
What do you guys got for shout outs?
Shout outs to all the kids competing down at the New Jersey State Wrestling Championships. This is the first year they're having the girls have their own tournament.
Nice.
From what I can tell, there's only like 4 competitors per division, but you gotta start somewhere.
That's about as deep as Invictus. So there you go. You'll have to. They're on their way.
Oh, hey, maybe a future UFC champion in there somewhere. Who knows?
Yep. That's the goal, man.
Let's go grow the sport.
Yeah.
And then shout out.
Listen.
God.
Look. I've never.
I could.
Are we talking about Alex Jones being on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we just be honest and point out that every single one of us has had a moment where we've referred to ourselves, at least internally, our internal monologue has been, I don't want to, let me just tell you something, I feel like I'm partially retarded. Like every single person has had one moment in their life where they've said that to themselves. So, but Joe Rogan likes those kind of dudes. Like he's into those like, he's a conspiracy theorist, kind of dude. So what a shock. What a shock.
I mean, I could do without You know,
Sandy Hook truthers.
Sandy Hook truthers.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Alex Jones
Debates
have any
about the
documents
master
in a while.
race.
Listen, but these are the kind of people that he like.
I don't know. I know that,
slaps.
and that's why I'm giving him a shot.
I could say a lot about Rogan, but I won't.
Go ahead. No. We're here. We might as well.
No. That's just. No, I'm not in the mood for that. I'm saving my parting shot to really get angry.
But I think that's all I got. Like, I want to shout out the dude who went to a draw with Eric Laura.
Can't remember his name. Gotcha. So my up or Stoges up?
Either one.
Okay. Well, since somebody mentioned Alexander Emelianenko, I believe he's in trouble again. So
Yeah.
shot at
Damn.
him.
Yipper.
I believe it was DUI or DWI or something along those lines.
I want to say the story was really crazier than that, or I might be confusing him with the other Russian dude who got arrested for like. So apparently the story with that one is like the guy went into a brothel with a gun, made all the women get out and like march around the streets in their underwear at gunpoint.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little, you know, he might be a psychopath.
What?
Who might be?
I did not hear.
I
I
don't
did
think
not hear about this.
Like I have to go find the story again.
I don't think that's a might. You're pretty classified at that.
Yeah, I think that I don't think it's wrong to suggest that. I don't think.
Oh yeah, no, he is.
Regardless of whatever terminology you want to use about that.
Yeah.
Like he's not a nice guy.
How did Fedor become like this religious dude, and then his brother became like this?
His brother hung out with Russian gangsters, and Fedor stayed in the gym.
I think that's probably the best way to put it. I mean, we are talking about a guy who like let's be fair. Let's not mince terms here. Emelianenko went to jail for like sexual assault. Like he didn't go to jail for drinking too much. Like I believe he went to jail for
Rape.
A heinous crime. But this seems like more trouble for him. Parting shot to Matt Hughes. I really do like. A part of me hopes that this story is some embellishment, because like it's so easy to want to spike the football on Matt Hughes. Like I had said before, I had written, it's easy to want to spike the football on him because he's. But I think there is a general difference between you're just a dick of a person and self-destructive and like an abuser. So hopefully hopefully get some help, because this is also a guy who I think he had a pretty traumatic brain injury too, right?
Yeah.
He got hit by the train.
Well, no, I know, but I didn't know if there was any sort of medical I don't know if they gave a long-term answer as to what's wrong with him. So I just know that he had a serious injury. So if it's really that bad, I hope they get him some help. Not from the sport, but just from a human being standpoint. If he's abusive, I hope his wife gets away. So that's a sad situation all around. And it's imagine Matt Hughes is the sort of guy where if he got into some trouble, you would want to there are people who want to laugh about people who get in trouble, because Matt Hughes is one of those holier than thou dudes who wrote in his book about being a real bad person, so to speak. And
sexually assaulting his future 13-year-old wife when he was a sophomore in college.
And there's something about a pig in there, that he
he
brutally cut to pieces. So it's I don't know. I hope that if this is true, do something. I hope he gets some help, or that he gets the proper punishment to be doted out to him. So that's the parting shots. Shout out to Invicta, since we just joked about them. They're gonna do an one-night 8-person tournament across all. I don't like tournaments, but I'm appreciating the effort to do something different. They're doing strawweights first in May. The talent overall isn't great, but it's an attempt, so I appreciate it. And shout out to Africa. You know, they got their first serious modern day UFC champion. And there's a chance they could have 3 by the end of the year, and I think that that's really cool. We all talk about wanting the sport to grow and wanting the sport to develop, and looking at this sport as like a platform for people in poverty to kind of get out of some bad situations. It's good. It's good for everybody that they have an African champion now, and that they could have more African champions, and that we could get more African talent, because the sport can't just rely on. I feel like I say this every time I'm on here. It can't just rely on dudes from the Midwest. So the more great talent we get coming into the doors, the better off we're going to be. And shout out to Alex, who does listen to this podcast all the time. I get texts about it all the time. So if he listened to the end, if he sat through me getting disconnected and kicked off like 43 times, there's your shout out. there's your well-meaning shout out.
Well, no, I remembered. Was that him who posted that last night?
He was really worked up, yeah. He was fired up.
What did he post?
He was just like, fuck him. Fuck Tyron.
He called out me and Sensei in his fuck Tyron Woodley post.
Yeah, he's pointing out he was pointing out everybody. He was fired up. Because you know what? Alex doesn't watch every card. He's very selective. And it feels like when he watches them, Tyron Woodley's on them, and he's normally mad about something Tyron Woodley does. So this is like a karmic reprieve for him. So, because he watched the Maya one and both Wonder. And shout out to all the listeners, all the folks who tune in, listen, and give us your support. And also shout out to all the people who say things like, hey, Joey, you're really nice. I am never above a compliment. So appreciate that. Appreciate your niceness. And fuck Scotty Too Hotty. So, anybody else?
All right, we're getting out of here.
No, Grandmaster Sexay was the better Too Cool member, and I will stand by that.
Oh my god.
Oh,
are you kidding?
We're just gonna let that sit there. That'll be post talk. Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
I'm gonna start a poll. Can we do a poll on? Is there like a Tumblr poll? I need this solved. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I'm opening up my other laptop.
Yeah, man, this has been episode 120.
Stoges.
Okay. I'll make it real quick.
Oh, sorry.
Bryce Harper for getting a
yeah.
13-year, $330 million contract with the Philadelphia Phillies. And also shout out to him for picking number 3, just like Iverson. That's fucking dope. I really like that. We got 2 Philly guys now. And then shout out to my buddy from high school, Chris Inocencio. He just got signed to Bellator. And
yeah, congratulations.
They're basically just bringing him in there to feed to this Olympic level wrestler. But, we're rooting for my guy. Hometown favorite. We love him. And, he was actually part of, like, our backyard fighting league back in high school. Like, he was pretty good,
Wait, hold on. Excuse me. No, it's unfair.
He made it. Dude, he made it.
It's unfair because Sensei said we can't ask any more questions. And then you just randomly drop. I was in a... Who to me?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Man.
We got 2 guys that are, pro MMA fighters that came out of that.
Well, no. I need to know more about this backyard fighting league. What weight class were you in?
Hold on. This
there were no. Okay, yeah.
This be because that'll be a whole night.
Wait, hold on. Time out. One last thing. I want to shout out Mr. Dink because we got Mr. Bone, but Mr. Dink.
One last parting shot to my favorite sports team, the Los Angeles Lakers. Last night they lost to Phoenix. Like, this season is over. We need to fire Luke Walton. He sucks. We need to blow up the entire team except keep LeBron, and then very sad. Very, very sad season. It's over. It's over. We're not making the playoffs this year.
Not at all. Not at all.
And that's it for me.
All right.
I'm
Well,
so frustrated right now about the Scotty Too Hotty thing.
this has been episode 125 of the Dojo Talk podcast. Shout out to anybody who just made it this long.
Yeah,
How long
I don't
was
even
it?
know how long this
I've only been here
episode.
for like
I don't know
30
how long it
minutes.
is because I messed
it
up.
definitely,
I messed up the time like halfway through, so I have no idea how long
it
this
definitely
was.
isn't as long as you think it is, because we hopped
Yeah.
on at like what 10 o'clock.
Well, I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been some
It's
hours.
definitely-
So if you made it
It's
this far,
definitely as long as you think it is.
thank you guys for listening. As always, check us out: SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Dojo Talk Podcast, Facebook page, as well as the Instagram page. Send questions to Dojo Talk Podcast at yahoo.com.
Did we have any questions?
And,
Did I miss questions?
No, we didn't have
All
any.
right, I'm just lost.
But yeah. So that's it for episode 125. Thank you guys for listening to this episode, which just went all over the place, but that's what we do. So yeah, as always, anytime people are being punched and or kicked in the face, we will be there to talk about it. And until next time, we will catch you guys later.